Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Koob.
I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid? You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the nasty stuff. Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Koob.
I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid? You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the nasty stuff.
Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens tonight. The Canadiens have won 5 in a row. They're 2 points out of a playoff spot. The Oilers have lost 6 of their last 7. They are second place in the Pacific Division, 6 points behind the Vegas Golden Knights. You will see 2 players tonight play for the Edmonton Oilers for the first time in their careers. One of them is Max Jones, who was traded for a couple of days ago, so he is expected to be on a line with Kapanen and Perry. Max Jones will wear number 46, and Cam Dineen, emergency call-up on defense, he will wear number 85. So I can tell you that both Ekholm and Klingberg are out. Both Ekholm and Klingberg are out. We know it's been very challenging for the Edmonton Oilers lately, and quite frankly, I would expect it to continue to be challenging tonight because their lineup does not look that great when you consider how poorly they've performed lately and given how well the Canadiens have been doing. Here's what we expect from the Edmonton Oilers. McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Henrique with Janmark and Brown. Kapanen with Jones and Perry. And then the 6 defensemen, I mean, we can kind of guess at the pairings, but the 6 defensemen will be Nurse, Bouchard, Kulak, Emberson, Dineen, and Stetcher. As for the Canadiens, Suzuki centering Caulfield and Slafkovsky, Owen Beck between Newhook and Laine, Dvorak with Gallagher and Anderson, Evans with Heineman and Armia, Matheson with Carrier, Struble with Hudson, Jack-Eye, nicknames Wi-Fi, with Savard. Will he be a Montreal Canadian for much longer? And Jay Milne's favorite goaltender in the whole wide world, Sam Montembeault, expected to be between the pipes. A couple guys, local guys, injured for Montreal. Kirby Doc with the knee and Caden Gooley with the lower body. Can you mute your computer?
Yeah.
7 o'clock game. 6 o'clock is our Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas as the Oilers try to win, which has been very, very difficult for them lately. The trade deadline is in, little less than 22 hours. We'll keep an eye as best we can on anything that might break during the show. There have been a couple of trades today. Speaking of local guys who are injured, Colton Parayko is going to get his knee looked at, so he's probably not going to play again this season, right? So that's another bit of news as well. And, another name now that's being somewhat rumored to be a possible Edmonton Oiler in the future is another Boston Bruin, and that is Brad Marchand, which we will dive into throughout the afternoon as well. Jay, how are you doing?
I am doing lovely. This is fun. The excitement. You never know when another trade's going to drop, and it kind of keeps you on your edge. I have notifications turned on for, several members of the media, yourself included, because you just never know. It's exciting. It's fun to be a part of.
Yeah. It's interesting, some of the names that are out there, some of the names that are being linked to the Edmonton Oilers, so we will keep an eye on it. If something breaks during the show, we'll see. We'll let you know. I can tell you that, and we got our trade watch coming up in a few minutes, but Riley Smith going back to the Golden Knights. The Devils got Brian Dumoulin. Winnipeg got goalie Chris Dreger from the Panthers for Capo Kakinen. So a few is there anything? Vinny Desharnais got traded, I think, shortly after our show ended yesterday, or were we still on when that happened?
No.
It was just after. I think it was just after our show ended. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on stuff. The Rantanen rumors continue to circle that he might get traded again after going to Carolina a few weeks ago. So all some things to keep an eye on. But, of course, the Oilers and the Canadiens coming up tonight at 7. If you want to get in touch, you can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Before the show even started, I already had 3 limericks. Woo! People certainly have adopted that. It's fun. It's fun to get your limericks. You can text the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox at 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. If you're listening to us through the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn Radio app, through EdmontonSportsTalk.com, if you're listening in the future on the podcast, thank you. Remember to spread the word. Let people know how you tune in to us. If you're on YouTube, you can also see us, and you can also give us a thumbs up. Flick the little thumbs up button as we endeavor to get to 155 so we can get a double word of the day.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right. Shaggy in St. Albert says, Reid, are you predicting an 0-3 homestand? I never made a prediction for this homestand. But until the Oilers start playing better, I'm hesitant to predict that they are going to win. Andrew says, also still no Jay Skinner for some reason. True. We will talk about that a little bit later on. Penner's Pancake says, so Reid is saying the Oilers are getting Carlo and Marchand in a combo deal. Okay, settle down, everybody. I know you're joking, but be careful what you put in there. D-Rock says, unfortunately, Edmonton media has my new vote for most negative media this season. All right. Well, thanks, D-Rock. You can only say that if you consume the media of all 32 teams and have a fair comparison.
Fair point. Are we negative? You and I? Or are we just realists?
I think I'm a realist.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think a lot of times I try to be optimistic.
Yeah, probably.
But when the team has lost 6 of 7 and has played, in my mind, extremely poorly in at least 3 of those 6 losses, maybe 4, what do you want me to tell you? I can only tell you what I see, and I think what most people are seeing. Do I think they can play better? Yes. Do I think they will play better? Yes. Will it happen tonight? I don't know. I can't guarantee that until they prove that they can do it for more than 10 minutes like they did against Anaheim. Yes, Ekholm is, well, we'll get to the clip here. We'll have Oilers clips throughout the show. Here is head coach Chris Knobloch on Ekholm and also a little bit on Klingberg as well.
Yeah, we feel it's best that Eki takes some time off, and whether that's 1 or 2 games, but definitely tonight. Eki's not playing. Klingberg's not available tonight too. He has a minor injury that he'll be back very soon. So right now, called up Cam as emergency, and he will be playing tonight.
All right. Well, Ekholm needs. I mean, we kind of got this sense yesterday that Ekholm wasn't going to play. We didn't know quite as much about Klingberg. Look, everybody. This is not a great Oilers lineup tonight. If you consider now, and again, I hope that everybody does well. I hope they get back in the win column because I want the fans to be happy. It's not because I personally need to feel happy that the Oilers won. I want the fans to be happy. I want there to be good energy going towards the playoffs. But let's look at the lineup, okay? Cam Dineen's been in the American Hockey League. He's going to play on defense. He might not play much. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they go with kind of a 5.5-man rotation.
Yeah.
Or maybe even it'll be like a 5-man rotation. And Stitcher and Dineen will get the ice time of one defenseman, and then the other 4 guys will play a little bit more than their share. Max Jones, I understand the excitement around him. I'm more optimistic about Frederick whenever he gets into the lineup. I mean, again, Max Jones has been in the American Hockey League most of this season. Okay. Kapanen's playing. Talked about him a lot. I thought he's given whatever he could, but I mean, really, he was a waiver claim from St. Louis. He's limited. But Colson's on the second line, is not a second liner. Arvidsson is on the second line. Usually, for most of his career, has been a second liner. Has not looked like one this season. And I'm not even. You could go through the whole team almost and find players who are underperforming or perhaps are better suited towards being healthy scratches or even in the AHL. So, what do you want me to say? I mean, Jeff Skinner's scratched again, true, but even when he's played, I mean, he hasn't always been overly effective. So that's why, even though Montreal is right now not a playoff team, they are hot. They are going to have crowd support. They are fighting for a playoff spot. Yeah, I think this is a very tough go for the Oilers. And here's why I say this, Jay. You know, I don't just come on here and just say things that just pop into my head for the sake of saying them. I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
I've seen teams add cast-offs from other teams. Now, I don't think Frederick is that necessarily, but, you know, we talked about Kapanen weeks ago being a waiver claim. Max Jones has not really been in the NHL. Cam Dineen has not been in the NHL. Troy Stetcher was moved down the Oilers depth chart when they brought in Klingberg. So, you know, we're seeing multiple players, not just one, being asked to play an NHL game tonight who have not been doing that on a regular basis or maybe in Captain's case have not been doing it at that high of a level. That's all I'm saying. Right?
Fair.
I've seen this before. Oh, this team got this. Oh, they got this guy off waivers. They got this. Well, usually there's a reason. Sometimes every once in a while you get a steal on waivers. Usually doesn't happen. So we'll see if the Oilers do anything else to beef up the roster. We'll see about Ekholm's health. That is big. I mean, is this? I mean, it's interesting. Like, in some ways, this is almost worse than just saying Ekholm broke a finger and is going to miss 3 weeks. This is almost more precarious than that. Okay, we know we're not going to have, like, this is kind of like, okay, so he needs to take a game off. Does that fix everything? If he plays Saturday, is he back to full health?
Well,
how much rest does he actually need?
Knobloch didn't say a game. He said he needs to take some time.
That's true. He did not rule out that it could even be multiple games.
So a broken finger you can play through.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he has a broken finger. I'm just using that as an example.
Right, but there's at least a timeline.
Right.
What illness is this? Who knows what it is? We know from listening on this show, from questions that were asked to him, he sounded awful.
Yeah. Like, is this the point? He's just extremely worn down.
Very much so.
Like, and
could be.
And he needs a rest. So we'll see. It's a game day. So it's our Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game. This is fun. I'm going to give a clue, and then later on throughout in the show, I will give another clue. We'll go to 5, maybe 6 clues if needed, and you will text in your guesses to 780-218-9999. That's the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. That's the only way you can win this competition is by texting your guesses. No emails, nothing in the nasty chat. And you're trying to win a $25 gift card to Hudson's Canada's Pub. Maximum 3 guesses per person. And Jay, it's very easy for Jay to keep track of everything. Very, very easy. Hudson's Canada's Pub. You're invited down tonight for the Oilers game. You can join them Fridays and Saturdays after 9 p.m. for the late night happy hour specials. Food starting at $4. Drinks from $3.75. Book your reservation now at hudsonscanadaspub.com. Bronco Nick put in the nasty chat Larry Bird. Okay, we can rule out Larry Bird because he was the last. There's a bonus hint. It's not Larry Bird because he was it last time. First clue is Edmonton. First clue is Edmonton.
Can you imagine?
That narrows it down quite a bit. Somebody might get it. I think this one's going early. I don't think this one's going to 4 or 5 clues like we have the last, 2 or 3 athletes. I think this one's going early. Maybe even after that clue.
No, maybe. I mean, sure, nothing's, I guess, impossible. Andrew E. in the nasty chat says they might not make the playoffs if Ekholm doesn't play the rest of the season. Quite speculative there. We're not anticipating that Ekholm's going to be out for the rest of the season, but we are going to ask that question.
Yes.
Later in the show.
Yes.
And we're going to look into it. We looked into the strength of schedule.
Well, you did. You did it all today, baby.
Thanks, baby. But there is some positive news for Oilers fans. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, is there? Well, you'll have to. I'm curious to see what that is, too.
But you know
what?
Are
you actually going to try to make people happy, Jay?
I'd love to. And, it is something that it is the beauty of sports, okay? We've said this before. I'll say it again. The passion that fans have for their team is just awesome. That is the essence of sports and being a fan of your team.
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody wants this team to succeed. Everybody. Edmonton Sports Talk, the city, the fans, the listeners, the nasties, everybody does. But you can only work with what you got. And like you said, Reid, this is a depleted lineup tonight.
I mean, I can only evaluate. It doesn't mean the game's not winnable. And hockey can be very random. Can be a bounce. Can be a hot performance by McDavid, Draisaitl, a goaltender, whatever. Skinner's the goalie tonight.
Well, and you never know. I mean, Max Jones, guess what? He was he was available for waiver claims earlier this year as well.
True.
And nobody took him. Okay? So you have to keep that in mind when you're trying to evaluate and analyze this team. They are dressing 3, maybe even more bona fide AHL players in the roster tonight.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Doesn't mean the game's not winnable. It's just if I look at the Oilers roster, I don't think I would be doing my job if I wasn't telling you, man, oh man, there are some players here that I really have no idea how they're going to perform, and that the Oilers and other teams haven't considered them full-time NHLers at other points this season. I think we have to say that. That's all. Now, Draisaitl's having a great year despite the last game. I think McDavid generated some chances last game.
He was skating. It was a breath of fresh air to see that version of Connor McDavid.
Right.
Because we had not seen that in quite some time.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Reid, I got a question that came in from Billy Rubin. Hi, Jay and Reid. Quick question. This came in on the River Cree inbox. If you want to ask Reid a question or if you want to chime in, 780-218-9999. A couple years ago, I saw Reid Wilkins at the Edmonton Comic Con. I wanted to go up and talk to him, but I was too nervous. Is Reid okay with people approaching him in public?
Yes.
P.S. I may or may not have been dressed up as Gandalf the Great.
Oh, sweet. Yes.
Cheers, Johnny.
I'm totally fine with people approaching me in public. That does not bother me at all.
Yeah, and I've seen it happen.
Sometimes it happens, yeah.
I've seen it happen. I wouldn't expect much in terms of conversation from Reid. He'll say hi and get the out of my face.
I will not say get out of my face. But I generally, I also, even though it's fine if people come up to me, I also feel like, well, I don't, I'm not going to monopolize their day. I'm assuming they're just coming up to say hi. So I usually will keep it quick. If I get the sense someone wants to talk a little more and I'm not in a rush, then yeah. What's the matter? Somebody got it? Yes! I told you somebody would get it. I told you somebody would get it. Somebody got the mystery athlete of the game.
Yes.
I told you somebody would get it early. That's incredible.
Oh my
Okay,
word.
we won't say who it is. We'll keep giving clues, and now it's just for fun. Who got it? Was it a regular?
Abutsky.
Abutsky. I don't know if Abutsky
I don't know
has
that
won before.
Abutsky's has won this before.
Abutski's are obviously a nasty and is often in the nasty chat. I don't know if
I don't think he's won this.
he's ever won mystery athlete of the game before.
And he said the name, and then he sent another message. Am I right? I don't know how you did this, Abutsky, but I want to know because we're gonna keep going, right? We can't give it away yet.
No, we'll give people other clues.
Yes, Abutsky. He says for real.
Yes, for real.
For real.
I told you.
We need to know how and why this name was thrown out because this is wild to me.
No, I'm glad somebody got this one early.
Why did you
because
have the premonition that somebody would get it based off that clue?
I don't know.
But you did.
I did. Just because they would think, okay, what angle is there besides the Oilers or the Elks or a current player? Right?
But even then.
Nah, but people... I thought somebody would get this one early.
Abutsky, well done. Wow.
That is pretty good. But now, okay, so now it's wide open, everybody. You can also put your guesses in the nasty chat since we have a winner. The first clue was
Except
Edmonton.
Abutsky.
Yeah, Abutsky, don't give it away. So now just for fun. Second clue is 16. Okay, so Edmonton, we should have started with 16 maybe. Oh, well.
What are you talking about?
Edmonton's pretty broad.
You
Okay,
think?
Our off-topic topic involves smells and scents, and we got the trade watch coming up as well for Nate. Here comes Brendan Eric with your sports update.
The Oilers look to bounce back as they welcome the Canadiens to the City of Champions. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST at 6 p.m. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will get you set with everything you need to know before puck drop. 8 other games across the NHL featuring the Bruins, who start a quick 2-game road trip against the Hurricanes. Dallas welcomes Calgary to the Lone Star State, and the Sharks head to Colorado to take on the Avs. With the deadline less than 24 hours away, the management is getting busy. Riley Smith is heading back to Vegas. Nico Sturm has been sent to Florida, and Brian Dumoulin is taking his talents to New Jersey. Colton Parayko is set to undergo a scope on his left knee. He'll be reevaluated in 6 weeks' time. 6 games in the association, including Golden State. They take a trip to Brooklyn to tip off against the Nets. Boston hosts Philly, and the Rockets head to NOLA, where the Pelicans are waiting for them. And over in the NFL, the Houston Texans grab Christian Kirk from the Jags for a 7th rounder. Instead of being released, Kirk will get the $16.5 million he's owed on the remaining year of his deal. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Proudly serving Edmonton area for over the last 30 years, their showroom offers all the best and latest in flooring, tiles, and area rugs. Tell them EST sent you for 10% off your next purchase in-store or online at ParamountFlooring.ca. Trade Watch after the break. I'm Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The grand opening sale at Sit and Sleep is almost over. This is your last chance to take advantage of the special introductory sale prices on all mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, get free local delivery on any mattress over $7.99 and receive a free bamboo cooling mattress protector. Enjoy grand opening savings with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the final celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Don't miss out the grand opening sale ends soon.
Feel like I'm out for a ride with my dog.
Is Willie Nelson here?
Just cruising down the highway. What's the name of this? Hang on, we got to guess. Open skies and asphalt.
Tickling by the river.
Try brisket taco.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That sounds delicious, actually.
It does sound delicious.
If you have a limerick, read at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Uncle Jesse sent me one at about 10 a.m. Excited for the day. To Marshall from the bookbinder, happy birthday. The Oil must take down the Habs in a big way. Generate puck luck. Connor needs to tuck. No pleasure delay, Reid and Jay will say. Pretty good.
Very
yes,
good.
It is Marshall Nielsen's 10th birthday today. The son of our owner and chief executive officer. And yes, the bookbinder did wish him a happy birthday on the Nielsen show this morning, which was pretty cool. I got a couple more limericks that I'll get to a little bit later on. And again, email yours to read at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Oilers Canadiens, 7 o'clock at Rogers Place, as the Oilers try to stop their losing streak at 1. So they lost a whole bunch.
And Dustin's not our owner.
He's the EST owner.
Yes.
Well, that's what I mean. He's our owner.
Yeah. Does he own you? Does he own the rights to Reid Wilkins?
Well, kind of, when I'm working.
You just go home at night, it's on the weekend, and you wake up in your bed and Dustin's standing in your room staring at you. It'd be freaky.
Like that horse head in The Godfather.
Yes. Yes. Just like that.
Yeah. All right.
Happy birthday to Marshall, though.
Yeah, happy Marshall.
Yeah.
Happy Marshall.
Happy Marshall.
Happy, combine it. Happy birthday, Marshall. So yesterday, Jay had an orange. And the orange stunk.
It didn't stink. When you say the word stink, it implies that it was rotten or that it smelled like an orange.
It smelled overly orangey. It was uncomfortably orangey.
It was uncomfortable.
And then today, for our dunk video to promote the show, I was in Matthew Awanik's office and I smelled his scented candle, which apparently they make skunk-flavored scented candles. That thing smelled awful. So Jay and I said, for our off-topic topic, let's do something about smells. Presented by William Huff. They don't stink. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website, williamhuff.com. Give them a shout, 780-454-4536. So the off-topic topic is...
This is going to be a good one.
What is a smell that most people would say is pleasant, or just a smell you don't enjoy, or a smell that maybe a lot of people would say is gross that you enjoy? I'll give you an example. I like, at least initially, the smell of gasoline. Like when you're filling up and you get it for now. After a while, maybe not so much, but that initial smell of gasoline, I don't know why, I like it.
Me too. That's a pretty general one, I believe. There are more people, I think, that would be on the side of liking the smell of gasoline. But even like ammonia, I don't mind the smell of ammonia. Or chlorine. Chlorine's got to be up there. Oh, baby.
Oh, I was thinking of chloroform.
No, sorry.
Hey, Jay, can you smell this? I don't know. Reid asked me to smell this rag, and then I lost like 5 hours of my day. I don't know what happened.
Where am I? Chlorine. You know, like the pool. Bring that on. I love walking into a pool. You smell that air.
Oh, that okay.
Well, that's chlorine.
Yeah. I don't know if I like that very much.
You know,
and now I know a strong orange scent I do not find enjoyable.
Yeah. Smell I hate or despise is fish.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Like certain,
yeah, if it's really strong, maybe.
Yeah, a fishy taste or a fishy smell. Sorry, you know what I mean.
Yep.
Just disgusting.
All right, so give us a smell that you either really like or really don't like, especially if it's contrary to what most people would think. That's the off-topic topic, and you can't just text in and say, I think the Oilers' approach to the trade deadline stinks, guys. No, give us actual smells, okay? 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. In about 8 or 9 minutes, well, 10-ish minutes, we're going to connect with Brian Wilde from Global Montreal. We love talking to Brian, not just about the Habs, but some of you might remember him doing sports on CFRN here in Edmonton earlier in his career. Very knowledgeable guy. Great to have a conversation with him. That's coming up in a few minutes. It is our Trade Watch, courtesy Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program. Take your career to the next level with Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. For more information and to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level. So just quickly, if you miss it off the top or you miss Turn and Engager, one of the guys the Oilers traded for, Max Jones, will play tonight. Trent Frederick still getting through an injury, so he might be a couple weeks away. Mentioned that there not really been a ton of trades in the National Hockey League. Riley Smith going back to Vegas. I guess that's a notable one. We're still wondering is something going to happen with Evander Kane. There is a name. Now, look, Jay and I, when we said this weeks ago, that neither one of us is big into making full conversations and segments just out of rumors. But we said leading into the trade deadline, we'll make an exception. So here's the name for you. Now, he is currently week to week with an injury. So if you traded for him, you'd be waiting for him to come back. But, and I have seen some, speculation that the Oilers are talking to Boston about this guy. Brad Marchand. I mean, the TSN headline from a couple hours ago, Bruins remain open to the possibility of trading Brad Marchand. Final year of a contract worth just over $6 million, so you'd have to move something out. I mean, maybe we'll see. But if he doesn't choke anybody, Jay, or lick anybody, what do you think?
Yeah, they'd have to figure something else out.
So yeah, assuming they get the money,
or
right.
But yes. I mean, why? What wouldn't you like about that? This would be your third best player on the team. Forward, anyhow.
Does he come in that high, given how it's going for other guys?
Yes. That's sad to say, but yes. McDavid and Draisaitl are your only better players.
I'd probably still put Hyman in that category. At the beginning of the year, I would have put Nugent Hopkins and Arvidsson in that category. All right, so since we're talking hypotheticals and speculating, let's say the Oilers traded for Brad Marchand. Is then the line Draisaitl, Marchand, and Perry?
Woo! That's exciting. That's exciting. And by the way, Marchand's got 47 points right now.
Yeah, he's
Hyman's 34.
Fair enough.
If you're just looking at points alone, and not to mention,
he has outscored Hyman by a goal, right?
He's a dog to play against.
Yes.
You say Perry and Marchand on the same line, your ears perk.
With Leon. That would be the line.
Yeah. That would be incredible. And given the year Corey Perry's having, he's surely capable of that role. That would be a bad line.
Well, we're still looking at a situation that Leon doesn't have great wingers. And it was hoped that Skinner and Arvidsson would fix that. Arvidsson is expected to be on his line tonight. Podkolzin goes back up there. I feel as if the people who wanted Podkolzin in the top 6 don't have much leg to stand on anymore. I think he's kind of there by default and because I guess Draisaitl kind of likes him up there. Now, I know Perry isn't on Draisaitl's line today, but then if you add Marchand, you just say, okay, that's the line. Leon, we're going to give you 2 of the most, rugged guys to play against from the last 15 years who can still prove they can finish, right? And away you go.
Well, and you still have Trent Frederick coming along, and they would have some chemistry, at least in the locker room, right? But do you think that there would be something going the other way? Do you think this is a possible way to move on from Evander Kane? I mean, this is probably highly speculative.
Highly speculative.
But
yes.
then you would have some sense
could
of
Boston
dollar
retain something for the rest of the year, whatever. But, even a month ago, I would have said, like, okay, really? You're going to adjust this roster to bring in Brad Marchand and hope he doesn't do anything that gets him suspended or embarrasses the team? Now, with a team that can't win, seems a long way from winning, and one of the aspects of the game that they're missing is that gamesmanship or savvy or energy or whatever you want to call it. Marchand would bring that. And again, it's not as if he's washed up. He has 21 goals. That's far from being washed up. I know you always joked about him being on the Four Nations team and that you didn't like it that he was pre-picked. It's not as if he looked out of place. It's not as if he looked like, oh no, it's old man Marchand with his walker and his hearing aid, and he's going to have all the he's going to get dominated. I mean, he was still involved. So to me, that's the thing. If the Oilers acquire Brad Marchand, again, it's trade deadline week. We're talking rumors. We're talking speculation. If the Oilers acquired Brad Marchand, does he not immediately go onto your second line?
He'd have to.
Like, how would you not? He's outscoring in some cases by a wide margin. He's outscored. Like, okay, so he has 21 goals tonight. Draisaitl is with Arvidsson and Podkolzin, who combined have 13 goals. Podkolzin has 6 and Arvidsson has 7. And then that's why Corey Perry has 13. Like, look at this. Corey Perry has an outside shot at 20 goals. I mean, he'd have to pick up the pace a little bit, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, a couple 2-goal games, and you're pretty much right there.
Or whatever. We'll touch on this as we go along. I know the Nasties will have their contributions as well. Sort of a what if for our trade watch for Nate's construction leadership and supervision program. What about the Oilers bringing in Brad Marchand?
I do have a couple that came in for the off-topic topic, which was what smell works for you. Sea-Dog says, my smell is the smell of manure because I live on a farm and it brings a homey feel. All my friends hate the smell. Mike, the Michigan fan, says, I like the smell of herbicide. Most people hate it, and I would be in that category of hating it. Fresh cut lumber, that comes in from Deaky Sparks. That's a nice smell.
That is a good smell.
You ever drive by a mill?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bring it.
The old mill.
But a steak on the barbecue, you can smell that throughout the neighborhood.
Yes.
That is a very
nice
a
good smell as well. All right, keep those coming in. The off-topic topic presented by William Huff. We will catch up with Brian Wilde. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
The Oilers look to bounce back as they welcome the Canadiens to the City of Champions. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST at 6 p.m. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will get you set with everything you need to know before puck drop. 8 other games on the ice and featuring Columbus down in Florida. Nashville hosts Seattle. Tampa welcomes Buffalo, and Utah heads to the Motor City to face off against the Wings. With the trade deadline less than 24 hours away, management is getting busy. Riley Smith is heading back to Vegas. Nico Sturm has been sent to Florida. Brian Dumoulin is taking his talents to Jersey, and the Jets swap depth goalies with the Panthers. Chris Dreger comes north, and Capo Kakinen going south. Colton Paranko is set to undergo a scope in his left knee. He will be reevaluated in 6 weeks. And over to the association, there are 6 games on the hard court, including the Bulls meeting up with the Magic in Orlando. The Hawks host the Pacers, and the late game sees the New York Knickerbockers hit the road to tip off against the Lakers of Los Angeles. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Brian Wilde joins Reid and Jay after the break. I'm Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Short Park. cloverbarfeeds.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. The polka version of Backstreet's Back. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, we thank you. Remember to go in, hammer that thumbs up button. I think if everybody rallies here, we can hit double word of the day territory, 155 thumbs, fairly quickly today. But our first plateau will be 100, and we're on pretty good pace. But don't be a pleasure delayer. Get in there, give us our instant gratification, and again, help build the algorithm of the show of Edmonton Sports Talk on YouTube. Click, click, click that thumbs up button. Oilers and Canadiens at 7. We have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show coming up at 6 o'clock with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Time for our Voices of the Game segment presented by Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated since 1993. We're more than just plywood. We offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. With a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff, we're here for all your DIY needs. Windsor Plywood Leduc, the experts you need to know. I consider this guy an expert when it comes to talking about the Montreal Canadiens, or really the National Hockey League in general, or just really being a great guest on a talk show, because I've been having him as one for years. From Global Montreal, formerly of right here in Edmonton, it is Brian Wilde checking in. Brian, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
I'm very well, gentlemen. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. It's great to catch up with you, but I'm gonna. You and I have done this before. Jay Milne, my
many
co-host,
many times.
Jay, you and Jay are new to each other, so I'm gonna let Jay fire
Maiden
away.
voyage.
Yeah, there we go.
Maiden voyage, Jay. Do it. Make it a good one.
I'm ready, Brian. I'm gonna lob you.
I'll wait for the one after.
I'm gonna lob you a real softball here, but this is our Voices of the Game segment, and although I know. Now, I would have been, relatively young when you were here in Edmonton at CFRN, but I am
not born.
Well, no, I was born in 81, so I still remember calling it CFRN. Okay, so I'm not of the CTV vintage, but I do recall CFRN. But as it is Voices of the Game, tell me and tell our listeners your broadcasting story. Where did you start, and how did you end up at Global Montreal?
All right, sure. I'll try to make it fast, though, so everybody gets a little hockey in, too. So born in 1963 in Edmonton, Alberta, at the Misericordia Hospital. Is that still around, the Misericordia Hospital?
Yes, it is.
Ah, excellent. All right, and then I went to NATE, Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, Radio and Television Arts Program. Is that still around?
Yes,
very much so.
Yeah, Brendan, who called you, is a practicum student from NATE, working the board today.
Oh, man, that's fantastic, because I thought that might have had a little bit of trouble through the years with the business changing as much as it is. Good for Nate, keeping that alive and kicking. So then I graduated from that, and then I got my first job in a very lucky circumstance. What happened was, and this is a pretty good story, and it tells you that if you just keep your nose to the grindstone, you may get lucky. Al McCann, legendary Al McCann, from CTV, CFRN in Edmonton, he was looking for somebody for as long as the Oilers made the playoffs and kept going. So it was just basically to fill in for legendary Rod Phillips, Lisa Miller, Corey Elliott, Al McCann, because they could get busy if the Oilers went far in the playoffs. They were only expected to go one round. So how do you get how do you hire a guy to help out when he basically only has maybe a 2-week career? Right? Like, where are you going to find a guy? It's like, I'm going to leave my job in Red Deer and I'm going to work here in Montreal. It's my big break. And if they lose in the first round, my entire existence is 2 weeks. So they'll take anyone. And anyone was me. Like, I didn't have a job. I was working at Kohl's bookstore. You know what I mean? I just graduated from NATE. So 2 weeks sounded great. And thank God for the Edmonton Oilers. Bless their hearts. They went the full 2 months. Made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final, which meant all of the people that were doing the real stuff, because I was doing the late show filling in, they then were due like another 3 months of holidays. So they said, we need to keep you through the summer because everybody needs their holidays. So by the end of the summer, now I've worked like 6 months. And at that point, I didn't suck anymore because I sure sucked in the beginning. They kept me on. And the rest is history. And then I did the Edmonton Oilers for 3 years. And again, I'm going to tell you, quite honestly, I also sucked at that. And then I finally, and you know what? The guy who replaced me, Gene Principe.
That's right.
Turned it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the legendary Gene Principe was the guy that replaced me, and man, he was like 100 times better than me. And then I finally got my act together in Montreal where I didn't suck so much. And that's my story. 1995 came to Montreal, and then I did the Canadiens, I did the Senators, I did also the Montreal Impact soccer games play-by-play. And I think what happens sometimes for all those people listening in, like Brendan who's working the board, is you got to get your teeth wet. You got to get your teeth into it, and you got to bite into it. And your first job, you're probably going to suck a little. It's going to be a little bit embarrassing. There'll be some tough lessons, but keep plugging away and keep working the job and keep trying to take yourself seriously as you can, and you're probably going to make it if you keep a good attitude about your failures, as well as your successes.
Well, that's great advice, and you're very humble because you never sucked. But I would say that about myself early in my career, or maybe
Ask
maybe
Mark
still.
Spector.
Oh, jeez.
Ask Mark Spector, because he wrote an article that basically said this guy sucks.
Oh well, Spec can be very hard on people, or some fans.
Well, yes, we've learned that through the years, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
I've seen a lot of stuff since then, and I don't know if he's a regular on your show, but
he is not.
No, he can be somebody that you either love or don't love, because let's just say he tells it like it is, even when it isn't sometimes. So
that's a great way to put it. Brian Wilde joining us today. All right, so to transition, and thanks for doing that. That's such an awesome story. So the Canadiens have won 5 straight. I have their game log open in front of me, without counting on air to make it boring, but 5 in a row. I think the previous 9 was 1 win.
Yeah, 1.
And I think the previous 12 or 13 were only 2 or 3 losses. Why are they so streaky? That's the big question.
Well, I'll tell you what, they were bad when they were trying to learn their defensive system. They went to the hybrid system that, the Oilers didn't do hybrid in the final against Florida that did go hybrid. And in the end, there are 2 different systems going right now. And Martin St. Louis trying to teach them that. And they were really failing at it. Until December, what would happen is that you'd have to switch on the fly, and they couldn't do it. And there's just open men all over the place. Well, they finally started to understand it. And then they were actually the best team in the National Hockey League over a 15-game stretch, if you can believe it. But during that 15-game stretch, they had a lot of travel that was like stupid. It was like a road trip where you went all the way to Florida and you just played 2 games. Then you went all the way to California and you just played 2 games. Then you went back to Colorado and you just played 2 games. So they had a lot of road trips. They did 30,000 kilometers in like 27 days, and they headed into the Four Nations break absolutely exhausted. Nick Suzuki, who is responsible for a large part of the offense, the first line, he went from a really nice point per game pace to just 1 point in his last 6 games. Needed a break, got it at the Four Nations, and Suzuki is, really telling for the whole team. He has 13 points in his last 5 games. And now the team is alive. They got their legs back. They got the rest that they needed, and they're playing good hockey again. If they could have avoided that 1-9 stretch, they'd be in a playoff position right now, but they're banging on the door. So they're playing pretty good hockey. They're a really good first line team. The third line's pretty good too. The fourth line has actually got the second most goals of all fourth lines in the entire league, led by Jake Evans. Yoel Armia is on it too, and so is Emil Heineman, which is a really good trade they got from the Calgary Flames. But the second line, you guys, if you're going to see what happens tonight, if McDavid or Draisaitl takes advantage, it's going to be that second line. It's now centered by Owen Beck, who's going to be a nice player, but probably in over his head right now. And Kirby Dach, before he got injured, was the second line center. He had a -29, which was the second worst in the entire league behind only Bertuzzi. And then he got injured. The differential of the club is a -23, if you can see goals for and against. And he and that line are -29. So basically, the entire structure of the team that falls apart is when that second line gets on the ice. So if you see the final score was 5-2 tonight with a win for the Oilers, just look how many were by that second line. Their goals X is like 30. All season long. Their course is like 30 all year long. That's where the top team falls apart. If they could just figure it out, get a nice 200-foot second line center, I think the Canadiens could be a pretty good hockey team.
Okay, well, the Oilers might score 5. They haven't been done well allowing less than 5 recently. But the deadline's tomorrow. Tomorrow, our this show is going to be all about what happened at the deadline or didn't happen.
Fun.
David,
call me back if they do something big, boys.
Well, yeah, we will. But are they going to move? Are the Habs going to move David Savard, or are they actually looking to sell, or are they thinking, no, we want to add and get one of those wild card spots?
Well, it's been really interesting because Jeff Gorton, the executive VP of the team, said, listen, we're just going to follow the lead of the team. If the lead of the team is that they're playing well and they're trying to prove they belong in the mix and want to fight for a playoff spot, we're not going to sell anybody. And you saw what they did with Jake Evans. He was on the block. Everybody thought they were going to sell him. They were trying to get a first, actually, by packaging them as a penalty killing unit that's so good, Armia and Evans. But in the end, they were playing so well, they decided to sign Evans instead. He got a 4-year deal with a pretty nice AAV team-friendly deal of $2.85 million. So the guys on the block could be Christian Dvorak, but he's a center. They're already thin there. So it'd be really surprising if they were, trying to make a playoff push and sold him. David Savard is another guy. And that would be the one that you could see being maybe a guy they move. But he wants to stay. He loves it in Montreal. And there's even a chance that he may re-up for one more year next year. And he's really great in the locker room with the young guys. So I actually see, 2 weeks ago, I was going to say they were going to sell them all. But with the 5-game winning streak and only being 1 point out of the playoffs, I would be really surprised if they sell anyone. And if they did, it would be to make a hockey deal. They don't need any more draft picks. They got so many draft picks. You're only allowed 50 contracts. There's just no way that they can sign all of these guys between the prospects that they already have and the picks they have this year, including 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 3 thirds. I mean, how many do you need, right? So, that's not what's going to – I don't think they're going to try for picks, but they'd like to make a hockey trade. And if they made a hockey trade, I think it would be them trying to package a bunch of picks, including losing their own first, to get a second-line center. If they get a second-line center, I think they can make the playoffs.
Okay, well, interesting. Okay, so the thing to watch there with the Habs. Hey, Brian, thanks for hopping on. You're always so generous with your time. You're a great storyteller. You always got great – insight. Yes, the Miss Misericordia Hospital is still standing, so we'll have to see if we can petition them
it
for a sign.
It must look bad by now, though.
Yeah, I haven't been by there recently, but it's seen some stuff.
It's had its years.
Yeah,
it's seen some stuff. Yeah.
Hey, enjoy the game tonight. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll have reason to bug you tomorrow if these teams trade with each other. But thanks so much for hopping on.
I would love it if they did. I would love it if they made a big trade.
All right, that is Brian Wilde checking in, formerly of CFRN. He did a great job condensing an incredible broadcast jersey into a couple minutes. He's all over the Canadiens and what they need. It's like it's interesting. I think you tend to go towards the concerns, and he's like, man, the Oilers could win this one 5-2 if they can jump on the Habs. And Oilers fans are thinking, we're not jumping on anybody lately. What's going on? But he's awesome. Voices of the game for Windsor Plywood Leduc, and I haven't seen any trades come down in the last 15 minutes or so.
No, I've been watching. It is interesting though, to see the matchup like that, and now Oilers fans can specifically look at that second line, as he mentioned, as a bit of a glaring weakness for this team, depleted with injury, obviously, but it's funny that if David Savard, that's a player that's been on a lot of big
he's
boards.
Been talked about.
If he likes Montreal, if he wants to be there, if he's good in the locker room, if he's a fit, then why haven't they re-signed him now and just end that discussion? But to be determined. I guess less than almost 21 hours away.
What the Canadiens are, how many years out of the playoffs are they? 4? Because it was 2021 they went to the final. So I guess 3 years out of the playoffs. It was 2021 they went to the final, right?
It was a COVID year.
Lost to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So there's value in getting in and giving your team experience. But I guess if you're the GM, you also have to ask yourself, can we beat Washington or Florida in the first round?
Well, that's
or
just
maybe
it.
Toronto, because that's who you're playing if you're a wild card team.
As much of a dogfight that it is, at that wild card position in the Eastern Conference, are you really that interested in selling the farm just to go up and have to play against Washington in the first round?
Right. 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. If you're taking us in on YouTube, don't wait. Give us a thumbs up. We can get to 100 by the time we're back after the 4 o'clock update. If everybody jumps in there and clicks, then we are at plateau number 1, and then we start focusing on word of the day territory. Portions of this hour presented by the Canadian Brewhouse. Craving a quick bite? You might be a vampire. Oh, sorry, that's for something else. Craving a quick bite? Try the Canadian Brewhouse Express Lunch, served in under 15 minutes, or it's free. Try the ribeye smash burger or turkey club sandwich. This is Monday to Friday until 2 p.m. All right, you're going to hear some clips here from Trent Frederick, from Max Jones, and from Chris Knobloch. We'll dive into the oil understood for GCL Diesel when we get back.
The Lock Shop.
Liddy Rooney in the Nasty Chat referred to you as Briar Tuck, which is just an all-time handle. The Koob account just tweeted out a Photoshop version of you as Briar Tuck, and you have to go look at this thing right now.
I can't believe they're doing me like
The
this.
Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss the internationally recognized tribute, the Alan Jackson Experience, April 18th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games. PlayMoreGames.ca.
The Oilers look to bounce back as they welcome the Canadiens to the city. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST at 6 p.m. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will get you set with everything you need to know before puck drop. 8 other games on the ice, featuring Columbus down in Florida. Nashville hosts Seattle. Tampa welcomes Buffalo. And Winnipeg takes the road to Philly. With the trade deadline less than 24 hours away, management is getting busy. Riley Smith is heading to Vegas. Nico Sturm has been sent to Florida. Brian Dumoulin is taking his talents to New Jersey. And the Jets swap depth goalies with the Panthers. Chris Driedger coming north and Capo Kakinen going south. Colton Parayko is set to undergo a scope in his left knee. He'll be reevaluated in 6 weeks' time. Over to the association, there are 6 games on the hard court, including the Bulls meeting up with the Magic in Orlando. The Hawks host the Pacers. And the late game sees the New York Knickerbockers hit the road against the Lakers of Los Angeles. The Oil Understood next. I'm Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
I got to hand it to Brendan Eric. Fresh out of Nate. Well, technically not even fresh out of Nate. He's still a student. He's on practicum. He hasn't graduated from anything. Referring to them as the New York Knickerbockers.
Lovely.
That is the official name of the team, right?
Yeah.
The Knickerbockers. That's great work. In the Nasty Chat, where you can talk with us, but more importantly, with each other on YouTube. That's the chat on YouTube. D-Rock says, the real question is, will McDavid not be minus on the stat sheet today? Yeah, we've been talking about the tough go for him plus-minus wise. The last time McDavid was plus in a game was the February 4th win at St. Louis. Since then, -2, -3, -3, -3, -1, even, -2. Now, he does have a point in most of those games, but what is he, only 3 even-strength points in the last 11? We looked into that yesterday. It has been a tough go for the Oilers. Will it get better? I think it will. Will it get better tonight? I don't know. Because Max Jones is playing after being traded here. He's been in the American Hockey League. Troy Stetcher's going to play. He's often been a healthy scratch since Klingberg joined the team. Klingberg's out tonight. Matthias Ekholm is out tonight. So Cam Dineen will play his first game as a member of the Edmonton Oilers, and Pud Colson goes up to a line with Draisaitl and Arvidsson. Now, Montreal coming in having won 5 in a row, but Brian Wilde just outlined some of the weaknesses that they might have. I guess specifically the second line is what he would say. So you would think that either McDavid's line or Draisaitl's line is going to get that matchup. And I think Brian's suggesting that might, in his mind, could be the one that tilted in favor of the Oilers. We'll see.
Arvidsson hat trick?
The Oilers are looking for something to tilt it in their favor.
Can you imagine?
Well, as Han Solo once said, I can imagine quite a bit.
I'm surprised you haven't used your soundboard yet today. That would have been.
I feel like the show has a little more serious tone with the deadline.
Yes, let's. We got to nip that in the bud.
It sounds kind of quiet.
Did
that come through to everybody?
It is quiet.
So, number 1.
All right. We have the oil understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood.
Ooh.
Yeah, you like that?
Reidrick.
There's a little bit of pizzazz for you.
Dang. Good job. Proud of you.
Oh, did you see what D-Rock just wrote in the nasty chat?
No.
Do we dare do it?
Let's try it. I don't even know what it says. I'm not looking at it.
Oh, you don't have it open?
No, I'm...
D-Rock says, I could care less how many points he has. Just take care of his own end first.
Oh, D-Rock.
You know what? I'm going to leave that alone, and I'll let the nasties respond to Derek's comment. I could care less how many points he has. Just take care of his own end first. Irregardless, we got to keep going. Who do you want to hear from first, Jay? We have Knobloch, we have Frederick, and we have Jones. I only have one Frederick clip because he's not playing tonight.
Let's hear from the new guy, Max Jones.
Max Jones, what he can bring to the team.
The physicality part and working hard part, that's something you can control, or I can control, so it's pretty easy just to do that. Finishing hits, going through bodies. Structurally, it's pretty similar to what we were doing. So from there, it's kind of just going out playing hockey, and I've been playing some pretty good hockey lately, and just gonna translate it and play the way that I've always played, and years I played in Anaheim and Boston, whatnot. So I'm just gonna come in, step in, and do what I know in the role that I have, and just take it from there.
Who is Max Jones, Reid?
Well, I think we'll find out.
I think we will. For those wondering, as I was as well, he was a 24th overall draft pick in the 2016 draft. He was called up by Anaheim. He's called up in 2019, and he played the final 30 games that season and earned a full-time role. His best season of the 6 that he played with the Ducks was in 22-23. He had 19 points in 69 games. 77 penalty minutes. He was traded to Boston last offseason, struggled early, was placed on waivers, and he's been back and forth between Providence. This would be a similar player to Philp, in terms of where he's at. I mean,
no, he's more established than Philp.
I guess more established.
He's better than
sorry, Reid, for traveling up and down, or he's not been, or he hasn't been playing like an NHL player in recent history.
Yeah, fair.
Right? I mean, he's never played a full season with a team.
Yeah, well, the one year he was hurt and only played 2 games, right? Had a pectoral injury. Yeah, well, I remember when he used to play for Anaheim, and there were some games where I thought, okay, this Jones guy gets involved and mucks it up a little bit. He does have a few NHL fights, not a ton. Somebody I saw outside of work this morning said, I bet your Frederick will fight in his first game. I said, yeah. And then the person said, well, will Jones fight tonight? I was like, I don't know. I think Frederick will for sure. I don't know if it's all about fighting, but it is about energy, and the Oilers have been lacking that. And if he can forecheck and tilt the ice and be a nuisance, to me, that's a win, because even some of the Oilers' best players haven't been doing that recently. So here's the thing. Jones, a new guy, comes in, and Jeff Skinner remains out of the lineup. Chris Knobloch asked about, how often Jeff Skinner has been scratched and how he's handling that.
Yeah, it's difficult for any player and coach dealing with this. There's a player that's had an outstanding career, and coming in here to Edmonton to feel like he was going to be a big part of it and have a significant role, and it hasn't fit for him or the team right now. But, I think there's some things that we would like him to work on, get better at, and being able to find that fit. And whether that's down the road, there's going to be injuries or guys not playing as we expect them, or whatever the situation is, that there'll be an opportunity to be back in the lineup, that he's got to be ready for that.
How has he handled it? I imagine it can be pretty frustrating. How's he been behind the scenes?
Complete pro, all season. Complete pro, working hard. You can never happy. You never want a player being happy with it, but he's not been disruptive. He's been putting in the work. He's been doing everything that we'd expect him to. And a very difficult situation for him, but I think he's handled it very well. It's made it a lot easier for the organization and his teammates.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be tough for Jeff Skinner. Look, I've pretty much said it all along. Well, I've said it recently that he's a flawed player. I thought Draisaitl's comment from probably a couple months ago now, saying that Skinner had to learn to do the things that players on playoff teams do, was very interesting. But to me, Knobloch is kind of saying he's got a good attitude and he's worked hard and he's tried to improve and he has improved. Oh, by the way, I'm still not playing him. Like he's kind of just like he said that comment about identity yesterday or the day before, and today he said he kind of just basically said he just doesn't fit. So if I were Jeff Skinner, I'd be like, man, oh man, like they traded for a guy who's been in the minors and I'm still scratched. And I'm not saying this because I think Skinner's a great player, because I do think that there are a lot of little things he doesn't do well, but to me that's a tough pill to swallow.
They can't just outwardly just release him?
Not in the middle of the season.
So this is it. They're stuck with, after tomorrow at this time, Jeff Skinner's with Edmonton for the remainder of the season, playing or not.
Yes. Well, unless he waived the no move clause, but again, I'd never count on that happening.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's some? I know Gager was alluding to this earlier, that maybe maybe the organization is trying to force his hand into removing that clause.
I don't know. To me, that would be a jump for me just to make that assumption.
Yeah.
But Jones is in tonight. We'll see what he can do.
That's the one. Like, you're. I mean, I guess maybe they want to look at.
Well, the whole, like, it's not a great, because they're playing so badly lately. So almost any lineup decision can be questioned, because who's really, like right now they look, like when a team is playing well, you're scratching players who don't deserve to be scratched. And when the team is playing poorly, you're trying to insert players who look like they don't deserve to play. Like, look, Podkolzin does not deserve to be in the top six. He's not a top six player. I felt that earlier in the season. He had a nice little burst. I do think he works hard. And again, I think he plays over somebody like Jeff Skinner because of his work along the wall and penalty killing and stuff like that.
Well, he does lead the Oilers in hits, if you want to look at that, by a wide margin.
He does, actually.
So at least he's physical.
If you trust the hit stat.
Well, I mean, when you're looking at it as a whole body of work, it sticks out like a sore thumb, puck goals and hits numbers.
Yeah, well, true. All right, so anyway, that's the latest on. We're talking about a guy who doesn't play a lot. I mean, we should probably talk more about the players in the lineup. A little bit more here from Max Jones on joining the Oilers.
It's going to be weird sitting on the other bench now. Super great rink, though. I mean, I've always had a great time playing here. I'm in the hotel, which is, same spot, so pretty familiar. Really looking forward to it. This facility here is unbelievable. Again, I think it's a testament to the city and the fans and the culture here. So I'm just honored to really be a part of it and learn from these guys and do what I can to help out.
There was a video the Oilers put up of him walking into the dressing room today and checking out some of the facilities and being pretty impressed by that. Here is Chris Knobloch, not just on Jones, but also Trent Frederick.
Well, first of all, Trent's week to week. It'll be a little while. As for Jones, I think he's a player that gives us something that we don't have. A little more speed, a little more physicality. Really simple game, but guy that gets in on the forward check makes it a little more uncomfortable for the opposition D. Our hit total should be up a little bit more, so maybe I'll get fewer questions from Ryan about that. But we'll definitely that's what we expect from him.
A little bit of a swipe there at Ryan Rashog, who was asking about the hit totals the other day. Well, here's the thing. The one thing I like there, the Oilers just need somebody who keeps hockey simple. Okay? You don't need Max Jones to score 40 goals or score at that pace. Get the puck in and go to work. And why that works on any team, and it works on this team because if you pin the other team in its own end, then you're going to have, as the game goes on, fatigued players for when McDavid and Draisaitl are on the ice. Or you have players taking penalties, which then puts the Oilers' power play on the ice, which I know hasn't always been spectacular, but is still pretty good. So this is what they need from Jones. Now, one guy who hasn't played in the NHL this season, can he transform the whole tone of a team, the whole tone of a line? I guess we'll find out tonight. But if he can do what Knobloch's expectations are for him, that will help. I'm just saying, will it help enough? And can he do it consistently enough?
To be determined. I mean, really, there's not much you can say at this point, other than be interesting. What number is Max Jones wearing tonight, by the way?
What is he, 70?
46?
Or 46, sorry.
And
Dineen's
85?
Dineen's 85.
Dineen's having his best year in the AHL. 26 years old. He's 45 games played, 29 points plus 5. Now, that doesn't mean he's...
Yeah, and he's one of those guys, he's looked good in the preseason at times, and there's been discussion could he stick around? Does he deserve to start the season with the Oilers? All that kind of stuff. Here's an omen. There are currently 97 thumbs up in the chat on YouTube.
Ooh,
so that's an interesting number that I looked at. Could it be a sign of things to come tonight? I want it to be a sign that we're going to get over 100 right away before the halfway point of the show, and then we can keep building from there. You can send us your comments to the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday. That is from 4 to 10 p.m. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Here's a limerick from Tube Socks. The Oilers must snap this poor streak. Their play has been feeble and weak. If they don't show some fight and flounder tonight, playoff success is quite bleak. That is coming in from Tube Socks. A couple more limericks that I'll get to a little. Do you have a limerick you wanted to get to as well? You want to save that? We'll do it coming back from the break.
Sure.
Somebody texted in a limerick or emailed it to you?
Text in. Both of these. There's two of them.
Oh, you have two? Wow, people are
one pertains to oranges. One pertains to DK Metcalf.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. And you can also give us the off-topic topic for William Huff. A smell that you particularly enjoy or don't enjoy, especially if it's contrary to how most people feel about that smell.
There's lots that are coming in. Tube Socks on the topic of enjoying the smell of gasoline. Great opening line from one of my favorite Proclaimers songs. I like the smell of petrol. I love the taste of booze, but I hate my love for you.
I didn't know that was a pretender.
Okay.
Who did he say that was?
The Proclaimers.
Aren't they the 500 miles guys?
They are. Rob from the Grove says, I love the smell of brand new tires. Old school nasty. WD-40. He loves it.
Oh, interesting.
I don't mind that smell. I don't mind that smell at all.
By the way, we had an early winner for the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game. Was it a Bootski? Got it after the first clue. So for fun, we're giving you the other clues. The first clue was Edmonton. The second clue was 16, and the third clue is Red Wings. You can now put your guesses. Actually, we prefer now if you put your guesses in the Nasty Chat on YouTube because we already have a winner. A Bootski got it after the first clue. So the clues are Edmonton, 16, and Red Wings. We're back with the afternoon debate for Edmonton Garrison. Here's Brendan.
The Oilers look to bounce back as they welcome the Canadiens to Rogers Place. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST at 6 p.m. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will get you set with everything you need to know before puck drop. 8 other games across the NHL featuring the Bruins as they start a quick 2-game road trip against the Hurricanes. Dallas welcomes Calgary to the Lone Star State, and the Sharks head to Colorado to take on the Avs. With trade deadline less than 24 hours away, management is getting busy. Riley Smith is heading back to Vegas. Nico Sturm has been sent to Florida, and Brian Dumoulin is taking his talents to New Jersey. 6 games in the association, including Golden State taking a trip out to Brooklyn to tip off against the Nets. Boston hosts Philly, and the Rockets head to NOLA, where the Pelicans are waiting for them. Over the NFL, the Houston Texans grab Christian Kirk from the Jags for his 7th rounder. Instead of being released, Kirk will get the $16.5 million owed on the remaining year of his deal. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Horses, dogs, ducks, you name it. Clover Bar Feeds has got you covered. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park, or call them at 780-467-5014. Afternoon debate on the other side of the break. I'm Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Missing the course? The Canadian Ice House is here to keep your skills sharp. Trackman golf simulators are open. Real golf action right in downtown Edmonton. Don't let the off-season slow you down. Visit us in-store or check out thecanadianicehouse.com for all the details.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss the internationally recognized tribute, the Alan Jackson Experience, April 18th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
Oh, my goodness. Appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. Oilers and Canadiens tonight. Rogers Place, 7 o'clock game. Jay and I are with you until 6. Then at 6 o'clock, the stream goes over to Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. They will then hop on right after the conclusion of the game as well and break it down regardless of the result. Let's see if the Oilers can play a little better, get back in the win column. The Canadiens smoking hot lately. They have won 5 in a row, but they remain 2 points out of a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. The Oilers in the West, 74 points, 6 behind Vegas, who are first in the Pacific, 3 ahead of Los Angeles, who are third in the Pacific Division. Could be another Edmonton-LA showdown in the first round. 780-218-9999 is how you can reach us on the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. You can participate in the Nasty Chat on YouTube as well. We are over 100 thumbs up. Keep clicking away. We want to get to 130 next. That guarantees one word of the day. And we want to get to 100 and which would get us a double word of the day. Is that a little louder? I think I had my computer turned down.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Is that too loud? Is there such thing as Sammy Hagar music that's too loud?
No.
Yeah. What about Dustin Nielsen drumming? Oh, Dustin.
I can't take it anymore.
Fantastic.
There was a trade. What happened?
This is reported by Elliot Friedman. Carson Soucy from Vancouver to New York. The Rangers for a third. The immediate reaction I'm seeing on Twitter is that Vancouver got fleeced. Carson Soucy has 1 year remaining on his deal, $3.3 million. 30-year-old left shot defenseman. Was the highest ranked or rated, I guess, on the trade bait board as far as defensemen go. So it's not, nothing's been, I guess, publicly. Oh, there it is there. Now it's official. Yes, Carson Soucy to the Rangers.
All right. Carson Soucy is from Irma. I interviewed his dad a couple years ago. I think he was still with Seattle at the time, right? Well, you probably didn't listen to that interview. You hadn't heard of me before we started working together.
I remember it.
Oh, thanks, Jay. That's really reassuring.
I listen to you all the time.
I'm glad somebody did or does.
I don't. I never would have texted in or anything, though. So
yeah, a lot of people say that they're too shy. Well, that one guy was too shy to come up to me and talk to me at the Comic-Con.
In a Gandalf costume.
Yeah, I would have loved that.
You
I would have wanted a picture for sure for my for my Instagram. The afternoon debate presented by Edmonton Garrison Curling. What am I doing here? Oh, this is the golf club now. They have curling, but they also have golf. Early bird golf memberships now on sale at the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. It's like Jay sells these, and then I can't even read them properly. Then he's got to take the emails from people. It's like,
read.
Who's that guy reading our ads? Can you get somebody who's actually competent?
Whoa! Whoa!
Early bird golf memberships now on sale at the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club with discounts for seniors and first responders and David Lee Roth, actually. I heard if David Lee Roth wanted to golf there, they'd give him a discount. Plus special rates for Sturgeon County residents. The kids laughing over there. The Nate kids laughing. Enjoy GPS carts and awesome driving range deals. Inside, kick back and enjoy a pint and or a pound of wings. I'd go for the and. In their full bar and restaurant. For more info, visit egmgolf.com. That's egmgolf.com.
Maybe you and I
know
can...
who you are.
That's what if you and I got paired up with David Lee Roth, that's what if we got like you and I are in a cart together, and then it's like, hey guys, someone golfing with you this morning. You may recognize him, but he doesn't want to really talk about it. So we would just be like, oh, hey, sir.
I know who you are.
We wouldn't say it's David Lee Roth. And he would just be like,
Whoa! Whoa!
All right, I got an afternoon debate for you because I think Chief Andy threw it in the nasty chat. Would you pick up Ryan Reeves off waivers? I want people to chime in as well, not just us. Ryan Reeves has been placed on waivers by the Maple Leafs. He's played 35 games with the Leafs this season. He has 2 assists and 28 penalty minutes. Last year, had 4 goals and 6 points. He's 38. He's in the second season of a 3-year deal that pays him $1.35 million.
No.
Would you put in a claim on Ryan Reeves? The Oilers need some toughness, perhaps. Is he the answer?
Not that kind of toughness. Not that.
Not a toughness that doesn't play every game or every shift?
Yeah. No, I absolutely not. You?
No, I wouldn't. 4 years ago, I might have.
Maybe.
Yeah, but probably not now because I don't know if you can use him all the time. We have 4 no's quickly in the nasty chat, though I think Chief Andy's a yes, which is fine. I want to actually see. Oh, wow. People really... Oh, Mike the Michigan fan says yes. He can keep Jeff Skinner company in the press box. Okay, so Mike the Michigan fan actually saying no. Is Mike the Michigan fan back at work this week? Because he was busy smoking stuff. So that didn't sound good. He was busy making food in his smoker.
That's correct.
Yes, he was not busy smoking stuff. That makes it sound like he's got the devil's cabbage out behind the gym.
Well, he's a golf guy. I think he's a golf superintendent.
Yeah, he works at the Highlands.
The Highlands, so they're not golfing. I don't know what you would do in the offseason, but he would. Heck of a curler, I'll tell you that. Probably watching the Briar.
Let's go, girls.
You know
what do we have going on in the Briar? Gushu leading Dunstone 5-3 in the 7th, and Gushu is yet to lose, right? Yeah, Gushu's 7-0 and Dunstone is 6-1. So this is a good matchup here. But we saw a shot earlier that Dunstone made, and you and I thought, "Holy crap, what an incredible shot!" And then they cut to Dunstone, and he's all angrily shaking his head, and we were like, "Oh, it looked good," but I guess that wasn't what he was he was trying to do. Coyote Steve says Reid Reeves won't be the worst one. Oh, I think he missed a comma. He doesn't mean Reid Reeves. Reeves is the son of, was it Willard Reeves? And Jordan Reeves briefly played for the Elks, right? He was in the CFL too, and he played Canada West basketball, I think, for Brandon. I did play-by-play for Jordan Reeves. Anyway, 6 degrees of separation.
Stanley and YYC, Ryan Reeves - no. We need speed and toughness in the bottom 6 like an Ethan Morrow type. In fact, we could use 3 Ethan Morrows.
Could use a line of Ethan Morrow's in his prime. Yes, that's fair. Again, Reeves is, he's a scary player, but are you scared of him every shift, or are you only scared of him if he does something like how we hit Nurse earlier this season, or if you're engaged with him in a scrum, when you might say, okay, Mr. Reeves, I'll go back to the bench. But if you're on the ice against him, does that prevent the other team from attacking the way they would like to? I don't know if it does anymore.
Elliot Friedman confirming as well that Mikko Rantanen is taking warm-ups in Carolina.
Was there not a fake account saying that Rantanen was going to sit out?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to watch for those.
Got to watch.
Unfortunately, some people are
thank goodness
desperate
Hernandez
for
here.
attention.
Reid,
thank goodness in general, Hernandez here.
I wanted to ask you for buying or selling for the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf and Country Club. Are the Oilers, and let's just have a discussion about this and look at it. Are they actually in jeopardy of not making the playoffs?
If they don't play better, sure. Oh, no, I'll get accused of being negative again. Now, they have 21 games left, right? Vancouver and Calgary are tied for the last wildcard spot. Calgary, I'm not even sure what tie. Oh, Calgary has more regulation wins. So Calgary is the 8th seed. and Vancouver then is placed as the 9th seed, both with 67 points. That's 7 points behind the Oilers. All the teams have 21 games remaining. And I have often said, once you get into March, it's hard to make up more than 4 points in the standings, right? Like, I think if you're 6-7 points out, that is a lot of work to do because you got to outplay a team by, 3 or 4 wins. And, I know, sometimes people say, well, if you're 6 points behind somebody, you're just a 3-game winning streak away. No, you aren't. Because the other team might win a game or two along the way as well.
It's tough.
It's tough. There's overtime games. But I will say this, if the Oilers lose again tonight, then all of a sudden that would be what? 1 win in their last 8? So that's only 2 points out of a possible 16? I gave some of the numbers yesterday. I mean, if the Oilers probably got to get to 92 points to be safely in there. Okay? So they're 18 points away from that. So if they went 9-12, they probably make the playoffs. The problem is the way they're playing lately, they don't even look like they can go 9-12. Now, what do you have, though, on the strength of schedule? And a team or two that they might be able to exploit along the way.
Well, yeah. I mean, in terms of strength of schedule, the Oilers have the 4th easiest schedule remaining out of all 32 teams in the NHL.
Really?
And a lot of that is based off the fact that they play San Jose 3 times between now and the end of the season. Okay, so that bumps that number up quite a bit. The alternative is Calgary and Vancouver. Okay, so Edmonton's is the 4th easiest strength of schedule. Vancouver's is the 4th toughest. They play Winnipeg, Dallas, Vegas, and Minnesota, each of those teams twice. That's 8 games against some of the best teams in the NHL.
Both Calgary and Vancouver play them
twice?
No, oh,
this is strictly Vancouver.
Oh, just Sorry. Okay.
Vancouver plays Winnipeg, Dallas, Vegas, and Minnesota 2 times. So a third of their final games are against some of the best teams in the NHL. Calgary has the 11th toughest strength of schedule remaining. They play Dallas, Vegas, and Colorado both twice.
No, the Oilers played Dallas twice. I'm just going off the top of my head. I'm not looking. No, it should say it on that. It doesn't. Oh, you don't have the website open.
No,
but we know the Oilers played Dallas twice. Do we still have one left against Vegas? I believe we do. Winnipeg still twice. So the Oilers do have some tough, but those 3 games against the Sharks really drives it down for Edmonton. Don't the Sharks only have 4 wins since Christmas or something like that? They're doing quite poorly.
Yeah, Edmonton faces Winnipeg twice, Dallas twice, and LA twice.
But really, that's the threshold for the Oilers, is to, in my mind, to win 9 of their last 21 games. Which, given how they played for that 29-game run when they went 22-6-1, looked like they could do it in their sleep. Now they're so discombobulated. And again, tonight's lineup includes, let's face it, some AHL players.
100%.
At least 3 in my mind, maybe 4. We'll see how some of them play. You got to really step up to get those 9 wins. That's what I'm saying. Deutschland Dangler says realistic isn't negative. Oilers have lost 6 of 7. Defensive play brutal. Goaltending a roller coaster. They need to figure their blank out ASAP. Chaos Gesture says, Reid, you are so negative, you're the flat end of the battery.
I like that. I just changed the battery on my toothbrush this morning. So I know what he's talking about.
By the way, give us the thumbs up on YouTube as well. We've had some awesome days with the thumbs. Let's keep them going. We are closing in on 130, which is another threshold to get to the word of the day. And if we get to 155, they will give you a double word of the day. So we are on a good pace, but people can't slow down. Don't be a pleasure delayer. So, yeah, it does sound sort of silly for me to say the Oilers got to worry a little bit about the playoffs here because 7 points is a decent cushion, right? Tampa Bay is 9 points up on the final playoff spot. And I wouldn't say, Tampa Bay's 9-1 in their last 10. So
it would have to be
the Oilers still got to do it. You still got to clinch it. You still got to get the work done.
Well, and not too long ago, I mean, LA had a better win percentage than the Oilers, but they haven't been playing that well either, and they're almost similar in games played. The Oilers would have to fall off drastically,
right?
And either Calgary or Vancouver would have to pick it up drastically.
But if the Oilers went 5-16 in their last 21 games, they will miss the playoffs.
In their last 10, they're 3-7-0. If they did that again, it would be trouble.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
No matter what those, the odds of going 3-7-0 in your next 10 and not losing ground to Vancouver or Calgary is slim. So, yes, I guess technically you have to say they're in jeopardy of not making the playoffs,
given their recent form. Like if they
but
were,
the likelihood of it,
if they were 7 points up on those teams and they'd been consistently playing 6-3-1 hockey in every 10-game stretch, I'd say, come on, they don't show any signs of dropping off.
Well, and we've talked about this, but the fact that they haven't closed that gap while the Oilers have been struggling is a bit of a break for the Oilers.
6 weeks ago, I was saying shoot for the President's Trophy. See if you can finish first overall. I'd be a silly goose to say that now. I mean, they're now 14 points behind the Winnipeg Jets and 14 behind the Wild. They were within 5 or 6 points of first overall.
Yes.
A few weeks ago. So there's been nothing put in the bank lately. No points and really no, not goodwill, no, what's the word I'm looking for? They haven't made the fans feel assured of anything. They haven't they haven't banked any security. And again, not just that they're losing, it's how they're losing as well. So, and they're, look, sometimes a team loses, and it happens in hockey all the time. They play well and they lose. They don't get a bounce. They don't make a play at the right time. There's always reasons for losing, but there are multiple reasons the Oilers have lost, again, most of these recent games where they haven't been able to win. And to me, that's what makes it a little scary.
Well, thankfully for that stretch from December to January, where they did pad some security for themselves. They were the hottest team in the NHL, even comparing them to Washington and the Jets over that span. I forget what was the date, December 8th?
Where did I have? I didn't bring it. It's on another page.
But they had a really good stretch there.
Yeah.
That separated them. Thankfully, they had that.
Afternoon debate presented by Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. More info, check everything out, egmgolf.com. I want everybody's submissions on this coming up. We have the top 3. It's going to be my top 3, and I think Jay has some as well. Top 3 most lopsided Oilers trades. But I decided to take the positive side of this one. Top 3 most lopsided trades in favor of the Oilers. Okay? Let's go down that memory lane when we get back.
The Oilers look to bounce back as they welcome the Canadiens to Rogers Place. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST at 6 p.m. Tom Guzzola and Hernan Salas will get you set with everything you need to know before puck drop. 8 other games on the ice featuring Columbus down in Florida, Nashville hosts Seattle, Tampa welcomes Buffalo, and Utah heads to the Motor City to face off against the Wings. With trade deadline less than 24 hours away, management is getting busy. Carson Soucy is now a New York Ranger. Riley Smith is heading to Vegas. Nico Sturm has been sent to Florida, and Brian Dumoulin is taking his talents to New Jersey. Over in the association, there are 6 games on the hard court, including the Bulls meeting up with the Magic in Orlando. The Hawks host the Pacers, and the late games see the New York Knickerbockers hit the road to tip off against the Lakers of LA. In the NFL, the Texans grabbed Christian Kirk from the Jags for a 7th rounder. Instead of being released, Kirk will get the $16.5 million owed to him on the remaining year of his deal. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help out those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off for free of charge. Find them at findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. That is 17-17. Reid's top 3 after the break. I'm Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Take your career to the next level with Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. Learn more about safety supervision, scheduling, cost control, and most importantly, how to lead a team. For more information and to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Well, this is a rare treat. We have a limerick submitted by a colleague. Who do you think it was? Who do you think sent in a limerick today?
An EST colleague, not a member of the media.
An EST colleague.
An EST colleague.
Well, who was also a member of the media.
Well, yes, but at large, I meant. Gage.
No.
Okay, let me guess again. Brendan, you guess.
LT.
No.
Well, not Hernan.
No.
Okay, then Dusty.
No. Zach.
Tommy.
Koob.
Zach?
Koob. Sent in a limerick to read at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Brendan or Brendan, do we really know? Faders and updates controlling the show. He can sure solve a cube. Don't call him a rube. Will Gibson be traded during the show? Pretty good work, Koob.
Wow.
Pretty good work.
You're supposed to be on vacation.
Well, there's no vacation when you got to write a limerick. Here is the one from the Big Uke. Trade rumors are swirling out and about. Surely makes me want to scream and shout. Habs tonight. Max Jones fight? Who would win in a shark versus bear bout?
Ooh. Well, it would have to be in the water, so I'd imagine a shark would have the upper hand.
Well, yeah, on land, the bear would just wait till the shark died. And then go up to it and swat it and be like, guess I won. Where's my honey?
Speaking of limericks, and I just had another orange. Is this bothering you, Reid?
No, this one doesn't smell obscene.
See, the one yesterday was a little one. This is a bigger orange. This limerick, I'd like to say my limerick, Brendan, was submitted by Dudley.
Okay.
Jay was delighted and keen with an orange so juicy and clean. But Reid Wilkins cried with a wrinkled up pride. That smell is just terribly mean.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
And I did say there was one about DK Metcalf, and this comes from noted 49ers fan Smith, TM14. There once was a wideout DK who makes big-time plays every day, but a first and a third? The ask is absurd. Too steep for a team to outlay. Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad. 780-218-9999 is how you text us on the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m.
Okay, we got to talk about this.
What happened?
So, I understand, like...
Oh, the clues.
No. A polar bear versus a shark would be... But the thing
How
is
that any different than a non-polar bear fighting a shark?
Well, the polar bears are used to swimming in the ocean.
Right. Well, so are
Bears,
sharks. Like, there aren't sharks in the North Saskatchewan River.
I understand that.
Or are there?
I did. Yuke's chirping me, saying a bear can both walk on land and swim. Yes, they're not noted swimmers. A shark is...
Well, sometimes you see a bear kind of floating, eating a salmon.
Yeah.
Or maybe their feet are touching the bottom.
A fight in water is not as one-sided as you like, Mr. Glue Guy. I still think it is. A bear is not going to be able to handle a shark underwater.
Well, questions we'll all ponder for the rest of the week, Jay. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us the thumbs up. We are tantalizing close to 1:30, which would guarantee a word of the day, which we have to get to, so don't delay. Click, click, click. By the way, tell a couple friends to check out the show. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe on the audio streams on TuneIn and iHeartRadio.
When I first tried Fabergé Organics shampoo with pure wheat germ oil and honey, it was so good I told 2 friends about it, and they told 2 friends, and so on, and so on, and so on.
I think I now have to shorten that so it's just the end.
And so on,
tell
and
2
so
friends,
on,
and so on, and so on. Yeah, we don't need the shampoo commercial anymore. That's Heather Locklear, by the way.
Yes.
Smitty the Welder says, polar bears swim. If there's anybody whose bear knowledge I trust, it's Smitty the Welder.
Yeah. Noted bear expert.
All right. It is
Fantastic.
Brendan, do you know how to put a poll up in the chat?
Put two polls up. Should the Oilers claim Ryan Reeves off waivers?
Ooh.
And then also put who would win a fight between a polar bear and
in
a
water.
shark in water.
Because
Don't we have to specify the type of shark? Because I think some sharks are quite small.
Let's say the great white shark.
Is that the granddaddy of all sharks?
I believe it is. Great white versus polar bear underwater or in water, I guess.
All right. Portions of this hour, by the way, presented by Canadian Brewhouse. You know what you can do, Jay? Make your birthday legendary at the Canadian Brewhouse. Epic food, killer drinks, and a vibe you can't beat. Plus, get free nachos with our app. Book your party now. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house. Trade deadline tomorrow at 1. We do not have any Oilers trades today. One of the guys they traded for will play tonight. That will be Max Jones into the lineup. The Oilers' expected lineup: McDavid with Nugent, Hyman, Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Arvidsson, Henrique with Janmark and Brown, Kapanen with Jones and Perry. The 6 defensemen who will play are Nurse, Bouchard, Kulak, Emberson, Stetcher, and Dineen. I imagine the pairings will shuffle around quite a bit. Skinner in net. Ekholm not playing, and Klingberg a little banged up, not playing. That's the situation going into tonight's game. The Canadiens have won 5 straight. The top 3 is the top 3 lopsided trades in favor of the Oilers. We already had some suggestions in the nasty chat. Bronco Nick says Oilers traded their second-round pick to Minnesota in 1979 for Dave Semenko and the Minnesota third. That third became Mark Messier. Okay, that's a good one. I didn't notice that one. There was another one I thought I saw. Well, people will put more in. So this is kind of a fun one. Because Jay and I were talking about this, and I said top 3 lopsided Oilers trades. And then I thought, and Jay kind of said it, well, then we're just going to have people complaining. And then they're going to say, Reid, why did you do something else negative on a day where maybe I'm being accused of a little bit of negativity?
You're not.
No. But I thought, let's do lopsided trades in favor of the Oilers. And 2 of them I have within the last 5 years. Which one do you want? The one from 2023 or 2021?
2021.
The Oilers trade Ethan Bear to Carolina for Warren Foegele. Like, if you think about it, that was a lopsided trade in favor of the Oilers. Bear went through a couple of teams. Warren Foegele became a pretty important member of the Oilers.
Not at the time.
Had a 20-goal season last year. Went to the Stanley Cup final. Was scratched for a couple games, I think. I think he sat out Game 6 against Dallas. Because isn't he celebrating on the ice in a suit? But anyway, I still think that was a pretty lopsided trade in favor of the Edmonton Oilers, trading Ethan Bear for Warren Foegele.
There was a lot of backlash towards that trade, I believe. Oh, Ethan Bear was
Ethan Bear was a popular player.
Yeah,
he had a great story behind him.
92-93 trade deadline. The Oilers acquired Doug Weight from the New York Rangers in exchange for Esa Tikkanen, who was 28 at the time. Tikkanen was. Doug Weight was only 22. He went on to have 577 points in 588 games for the Oilers. Turned out to be quite beneficial. Maybe not so much at the time.
Well, Doug Weight would probably be the Oilers' best player from the 1990s, given the chunk of games that he's played. I thought about that one. I guess I ultimately excluded it because Tikkanen still played until 1999 and had a role on every team on which he played and, did help the New York Rangers
now this was
win the Stanley Cup.
But this was worded as lopsided for the beneficial for the Oilers.
Right. I guess if you trade for somebody that turns out to be your best player, it was good for you. It was good for you. I considered that one, though I ultimately left it off.
Okay, fair.
So that is a good one, though. February 28th, 2023. Obvious. To Edmonton, Matthias Ekholm and a 6th-round pick. To Nashville, Barry, Reed Schaefer, a 1st and a 4th. Even if Ekholm were to never play another game for the Oilers, what a 2-year run. Solid. Help Kubusch. Maybe not as much this year, but helped the Oilers get to the Stanley Cup final. Has been a leader. Has been, I think, a leader in the community as well. Well-spoken with the media and with the fans. To me, that's a huge win for the Oilers.
March 3rd, 1999.
Ooh, what is this one? It's close to my most recent next one.
The Oilers acquired from Toronto Jason Smith for a 4th-round and 2nd-round pick. He turned out to be the longest-serving captain in Oilers history.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. They only gave up picks for him, eh?
Yeah. That was the 4th
Did you see
team.
who the Leafs got? Who the Leafs picked?
It did say Reid, and they weren't names that...
they didn't stand out as like, the Oilers could have picked, whoever. That's a good one. Mine is March 20th. No, I'm going to go with the one from 1989 instead. And I'll give the other one as an honorable mention. Actually, D-Rock just put this one in the nasty chat. To Edmonton, November 2nd, 1989. Adam Graves, Peter Klima, Joe Murphy, and Jeff Sharples for Jimmy Carson, Kevin McClellan, and a 5th-round pick. Graves, Klima, and Murphy, all part of the 1990 Stanley Cup championship team. Klima got a big game-winning goal in the final, even though he didn't play a lot in overtime. Graves and Murphy were part of that kid line that was effective throughout the 1990 playoffs. I think that one's pretty lopsided in favor of Edmonton. I also, honorable mention, I'm going to say March of 1999, the Oilers getting Tommy Salo for Mats Lindgren. Lindgren went on to, have a pretty decent career and played a lot of games for the Islanders. But Salo was a very solid Oilers goaltender for a long time. He played 337 games with Edmonton, had a .906 save percentage. So I would categorize that as lopsided in favor of the Oilers.
The players, Reid, you were asking in the Jason Smith trade, turned out to be Jonathan Zion and Chris Vernarski.
I do not know who that is.
Exactly. My final one, 2005. Edmonton trades Eric Brewer, Jeff Wojciechowski, and Doug Lynch to St. Louis for Chris Pronger.
So here's why I didn't include that one. Pronger only played 1 year.
Sure.
And Eric Brewer was a very, very good defenseman.
Pronger was a difference maker in that team on that cup run.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, it was short. And remember, they came out with the 2000s team and left him off. But it said this has nothing to do with longevity of your career as an Oiler.
Yeah, I considered that one as well.
Think of the emotion, though, that stirred up in Edmonton. Because Michael Pekka came in at that offseason as well.
Yes.
And those were some big names at that time. Well, Chris Pronger was the best defenseman in the league.
Yeah, he was awesome, especially in the playoffs. But I'm not saying that that's a bad choice. I think that's a good choice. I was just giving my logic for excluding it. But I think those are all good ones that certainly help the Oilers. And again, probably, I guess when you're saying it's in favor of your team if you don't really remember who went the other way or you're not bothered by that player having gone the other way, right? So, good list, buddy. Top 3.
Shanzi says, also, Doug Weight was the only Oiler to have 100 points between the old boys and Connor /
Oh,
Leon.
that's a great point. Yeah, that is a great point. Yeah, he was top 10 in scoring at least once while he was with Edmonton, maybe more than once.
Ian in enemy territory, Andy Moog and Mo LeMay for Bill Ranford and Jeff Courtnall. And I love Andy Moog, but Ranford was a savior in 90 and a good soldier in the early 90s.
Well, he won a Conn Smythe Trophy. Now, Moog was pretty good with Boston and did go to the Cup final with them. I know he didn't win it, but yeah, you could argue for that one too.
And Mike outside of Edmonton says the great white shark gets its butt kicked by an orca whale before it gets a chance to fight the polar bear.
Oh, wow. So you got like some whale fan chiming in.
Says his 12-year-old daughter, noted nature nerd.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I accidentally mocked his daughter. I did not mean to do that.
He said his own words, noted nature nerd. She loves nature. That's great. See, we had the nerd debate before. Nerds are great.
Oh, isn't it nice to be suddenly so highly regarded?
We have our game of the night. We'll continue to keep an eye on the trade deadline. We'll look at Montreal's chances in that playoff race as well. It's the 5 o'clock break.
The EST Hangout.
I thought you were being positive.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I completely agree. He was on a really bad Jets team. His coach didn't really understand the offense or which style of offense that Aaron Rodgers needed to succeed.
That was very well done, but somebody needs to get you a breath mint because there's so much crap coming out of your mouth.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems. But did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
At Mind360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
The Oilers look to bounce back as they welcome the Canadiens to Rogers Place. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST at 6 p.m. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will get you set with everything you need to know before puck drop. 8 other games across the NHL featuring the Bruins, who start a quick 2-game road trip against the Hurricanes. Dallas welcomes Calgary to the Lone Star State, and the Sharks head to Colorado to take on the Avs. With the trade deadline less than 24 hours away, management is getting busy. Carson Soucy is now a New York Ranger. Riley Smith is heading to Vegas. Nico Sturm has been sent to Florida. Brian Dumoulin is taking his talents to New Jersey, and the Jets swap depth goalies with the Panthers. Chris Drieger coming north, and Capo Kakinen heading south. 6 games in the association, including Golden State. They take a trip to Brooklyn to tip off against the Nets. Boston hosts Philly, and the Rockets head to NOLA, where the Pelicans are waiting for them. Game of the night right now. I'm Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
I don't mind you dancing, but I don't know why you have to make such intense eye contact with me when you're doing your gyrations. Like, just gyrate to the camera. Gyrate to the nasties.
It makes it easier for me to gyrate when I'm looking at you.
Well, that is the first time anybody has ever said that to me.
Come on.
It makes it easier for me to gyrate.
It gives me confidence
when I'm looking at you. Jay Milne to Reid Wilkins, 5:05 p.m., Thursday, March 6, 2025. We need to put that on a plaque somewhere in the station.
Yeah.
Well, if I can inspire you to do something, Jay, I guess good gyration is better than nothing at all. We should do one of Dusty's songs, Good Gyrations, to the tune of Good Vibrations. Good.
Oh, I thought you meant the Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
No, I'm talking about the Beach Boys. Actual music. Okay?
Go ahead. Make my day.
That's Clint Eastwood.
This polar bear shark conversation is still ongoing.
Okay.
TBD, bro. TBD.
Dunstone and Gushue 6-6 after 9, by the way. Good game.
What's Collingwood Rob says, Jay needs to talk to HR Daddy about my gyrating, I believe. Gyrating is just a form of interpretive dance, people. Brendan, what is the poll at for who wins a fight in the water?
Let me 1 second. You got me at a time here. Great white shark is at 76%.
Yeah, in the water for sure.
Do we shut that down and say on land? See what a shark can do up there?
No, that's fine. I think the polls we've had are enough. I think those polls are all good.
Come on, Pops.
If you're checking us out on YouTube, by the way, remember to hit that thumbs up button. We are past 1:30, so we will have a word of the day before the end of the show. Now we got to push to get to 100 and then we get a double word of the day, which we pretty much do get to every day. So keep that streak alive. I love doing the word of the day. We're going to have another special guest. Part of there's a large media contingent that travels with the Montreal Canadiens because they're a popular Canadian team and they have 2 languages. So we're going to talk to Guillaume Lefrancois from La Presse coming up in about 13 or 14 minutes. He was already here on Tuesday, by the way, taking in the game. He got here a little bit early, so we will visit with him as well. It is time for our game of the night for Play More Tables and Games.
Play more tables and games.
From ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for, visit Canada's Game Room experts. Locations in Edmonton and Calgary or online at playmoregames.ca. Thanks to Play More Tables and Games, we have a classic arcade machine with over 6,000 games?
6,300 or so.
It is insane.
We have yet to really even crack that machine.
Yeah, well, you and I have done some randomizing.
I think we should
We
do
should
that
try
more.
that again.
Yeah.
Because what was that Bible game I found? Was it Exodus? Yeah, it was actually kind of an interesting video game. Like you're Moses.
You got quite good at it.
Well, I think I made level 4. But it's challenging. It was actually quite challenging to figure out how to do each level. And you collected Bibles, and then in between the levels, you had to answer Bible trivia. I was not good at that. But you still advanced.
I helped.
You helped me.
I was your guiding light.
Yeah. So to speak.
For Exodus.
You can do your game of the night first, because sometimes I steal yours.
Well, the way Brendan's been saying the Knickerbockers all afternoon has got me excited for this game. And it actually should be a good game. It's a late game. Everybody knows I prefer the late game, Reid. The Knicks are heading out to L.A. to take on the Lakers. That game tips off at 8 p.m. Lakers are 2.5-point favorites. Got to get me some basketball.
My game of the night, besides obviously the Oilers and the Canadiens, I am going to go with Utah and Detroit, which I believe is just getting underway. And
Should we find it on the ESTV?
Well, let's watch the end of this curling. I think this is our early game of the night. Oh, and Mike, the Michigan fan, noted as well tonight for Briar fans. Now I can't find it. Alberta, Saskatchewan for top spot in Pool B. So that's
the Jacobs ring.
Jacobs against McEwen. They're both 7-0, and Jacobs is with our buddy Mark Kennedy, right?
Yeah,
he's on that team. But I'll take for another hockey game. I'll take Utah-Detroit because Detroit is 1 point ahead of the Canadiens and 1 point out of a playoff spot. So they're jockeying with Montreal, trying to pass Ottawa and the Rangers. Columbus is in a wild card spot, so it's really tight there in the Eastern Conference. So I'll go Utah-Detroit to do something a little different. I usually just pick teams in the Oilers division, but I'll go Utah and Detroit because Detroit factors into Montreal's chase for a postseason position.
One other thing I got to touch on here is that we are 9 days away from the Heavy Hockey Showdown. Okay, that's in support of the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, otherwise known as SACE. March 14th, there's a watch party. I think it's happening at BP's Westgate, just right by the mall.
Up the street here, yeah.
And then March 15th is the Heavy Hockey Showdown, in which you'll see Team Heavy Hockey taking on Team Edmonton Sports Talk. I believe next week we will have some items that we're going to be auctioning off. But if you want to support that, go to the Edmonton Sports Talk page, edmontonsportstalk.com. Click on at the top HH Showdown, and you can donate to SACE right there. Great initiative.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for mentioning them. We got Dash from Heavy Hockey. He's been on the Hangout a few times. Other members of their crew as well. So, yeah, good for them for doing that. All right. So Dunstone and Gushue. Dunstone 6-1. Gushue 7-0. 6-6 in the 10th end. Dunstone has that. So Gushue was ahead, right? 5-3. And then Gushue tied it. So he must have stole. We're kind of half watching it here. We got it on the ESTV. It's great watching curling at work.
David Pagnotta is reporting that the Sharks and Oilers have been working on a trade involving Jake Wallman. He reported that 5 minutes ago. He says, we'll see if this gets over the finish line.
Okay. Left shot D, 29, listed at 6'1", 218. Just quickly went to his hockey. How about this? He has 32 points in 50 games and is -1 on the San Jose Sharks. Being -1 on the San Jose Sharks would be a difficult feat, I think. I got to check his contract here.
And this was a player that was not listed on any of the trade bait boards that I saw.
So he's a UFA after this season, cap hit of $3.4 million. Just checking other stuff about him. He's got to be the Sharks leader in plus minus, wouldn't you think? Like, Brendan, can you look up how many how many games the Sharks have won since Christmas? Can you look at their game log quickly? I think they've only won 4 games since Christmas. He was on Detroit the previous 3 seasons. And the Sharks have So they have a couple plus player. Well, they have one plus player in terms of guy who's played almost every game. Fabian Zetterlund is +9. And then they have, among their regulars, Zetterlund's +9, and then Walman is -1, and then everybody else is worse than that. That's an interesting one. Had that name been out there? Had you heard a lot about that name before?
No.
Now, he does shoot left, right? He does shoot left. I shouldn't make that too complicated. That'd be an interesting ad, I think. Canadian guy from Toronto, drafted by the Blues, 82nd overall in 2014, up to 252 NHL games. Those are good numbers this season on quite a lousy hockey team. Right?
I think that would be a definite upgrade, right?
So go ahead, Brendan.
6, and one of those in a shootout.
They have 6 wins since Christmas.
Yeah, 5 regulation.
Well, the Oilers are still better than that, despite their that would be an interesting addition to me. So does he push Klingberg out? So if Ekholm's, or is this a security blanket for? Well, I guess he's a security blanket for anybody. Assuming Ekholm's healthy, is it Ekholm, Bouchard? Then they'd have too many left shot D.
Mm-hmm. Somebody would have to play.
Somebody would have to go the offside.
So would it be Nurse Walman?
And Kulak Emberson?
Kulak.
Maybe. Or do you go Nurse Emberson and because Kulak has played his offside a bit, right?
And then Kulak Walman.
I think if Kulak and Nurse are on the ice together, I think Kulak goes to the right side. All right, but not official, right? Just reported by that's a real account for sure?
Yes, and
okay.
I have David Pagnotta is often on Hello Hockey with Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell. I text Tom. He says, sounds like it's happening. Pagnotta is on it.
Okay, buying or selling for Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the Greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, Instagram handle of Damon Bunting Real Estate. Are you buying or selling if the Oilers add Jake Walman? And we don't know what would potentially be going the other way.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. What did you say the hit would be?
3.3.
So something's got to be going the other way.
Right. We talk a lot about the Kane contract. I don't think he'd be going to San Jose.
I find that hard to believe, yeah.
Now, maybe there's some retention, and sometimes deals happen in combination with other deals too, right? So
true.
Keep that in mind.
Well, so, the earlier trade this week was a 3-way deal.
So there's a little more heat to this report than some others in terms of some of the things we've discussed or other things that have been discussed on this station. So Jake Walman, Tom thinks it's going to happen too?
No, he just said Pagnotta's on it. Like this
is something we can acknowledge as being realistic.
He said
as
this
opposed
is
to
real.
Just a bit of a what if. Okay. Buying or selling for Damon Bunting. We got a limerick here from Bronco Nick. Emailed to reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. Tonight, the Oilers host the Habs. Hopefully, they don't play like crabs. Connor will score, Draisaitl maybe more, and hopefully Perry throws some jabs. Or does Max Jones throw some jabs? He's going to make his Oilers debut tonight. Okay.
2 minutes ago, David Pagnotta. Walman has been informed he's being traded to Edmonton. There might be a small caveat that holds it up, but assuming that is smoothed out, this should get finalized.
All right. Well, there's no speculation on who's going the other way.
No.
Interesting. I mean, if he's making 3.3, you would think it would have to be somebody. Well, it would have to be somebody off the roster.
I don't know who Puck Empire is. I'm just looking. I'm just finding stuff.
Think they're not bad? Okay.
Okay. Can confirm the Oilers are acquiring Jake Walman. Hearing the return is a bit shocking. The market isn't getting any easier for buyers.
Shocking.
As per Puck Empire.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's going to make people think Bouchard, but I don't think it's that. Wow. Okay.
So I'm just working whatever I can here to keep you all updated. NHL Network. The Oilers are working towards acquiring Jake Wallman from the San Jose Sharks. So this has legs, Reid. This looks like this is happening. Although nobody...
Yeah,
nobody
we'll
knows
see.
what's going
this
back.
and this is one of those things. Maybe the Oilers are going to announce it officially right away. Maybe it doesn't even get announced until tomorrow morning. But there's enough out there now that it appears something is happening. That's interesting. That account that said the return is shocking. I mean, that could be interpreted a lot of different ways. So maybe we'll just leave that one alone. We got to get in a quick break here. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne on Edmonton Sports Talk.
The Oilers look to bounce back as they welcome the Canadiens to Rogers Place. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST at 6 p.m. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will have you set with everything you need to know before puck drop. 8 other games on the ice featuring Columbus down in Florida. Nashville hosts Seattle. Tampa welcomes Buffalo. Utah heads to the Motor City to face off against the Wings. And Winnipeg takes on Philly. With the trade deadline less than 24 hours away, management is getting busy. Carson Soucy is now a New York Ranger. Riley Smith is heading to Vegas. Nico Sturm being sent to Florida. Brian Dumoulin is taking his talents to New Jersey, and the Jets swap depth goalies with the Panthers. Chris Streeter comes north. Capo Kakinen on his way southbound. 6 games in the association, including Golden State. They take a trip to Brooklyn to tip off against the Nets. Boston hosts Philly. The Rockets, they're in NOLA, where the Pelicans are awaiting them. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see their knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc. Jake Wallman, hey, more talk around the break. I'm Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Bruce Boudreau with us on the show this morning.
The other day, and watching Bouchard come over, he stopped skating at the far dot and just coasted all the way and ended up the guy not getting on the ice in time and them scoring a goal. And I would have been down that bench and I would have been so friggin' mad at that guy. I would have just ripped him.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by Southport Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The Canadian Brewhouse wing flavors of the month are going head-to-head. Spicy Dill 2.0 versus Bang Bang Sauce. Head to the Canadian Brewhouse for wing night to cast your vote. Great wings, cold drinks, and an atmosphere you won't forget. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
miss the internationally recognized tribute, the Alan Jackson Experience, April 18th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Here, Brendan. All right, so here's the speculation is that the Oilers are trading for San Jose defenseman Jake Wallman. We don't know what the return would be. Wallman has played 50 games for the last place Sharks this season. He has 6 goals and 32 points, 36 penalty minutes. He is -1 on a team with only 1+ player amongst players who have played a fair amount of games. He has a cap hit of $3.4 million, and he's under contract until the end of next season. Okay? So a year and a quarter basically left on his deal. This is not official. Nothing has been announced by the league or for the Oilers, but there's significant speculation or reporting, including from David Pagnotta from the Fourth Period, who's a regular guest on Hello Hockey on this station. I have reached out to someone who covers the San Jose Sharks about Wallman. The reply I got was, he's effing awesome. Great dude. Hard shot, skates well, makes good passes out of the zone. He and Ceci were our best pair. Of course, Ceci's been traded to Dallas. Wallman can play on the power play, will be physical and block shots. And this person says, I am pissed to lose him.
Says a lot.
So that tells you a little bit there. We'll keep an eye on this, of course. I don't know if we'll get anything official by 6 o'clock, but Tom and Hernan take over the stream with the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show at 6. We got him? Okay, we'll spend a few minutes here with a guy I was pleased to talk to at the rink the other day, Guillaume Lefrancois from La Presse out of Montreal, traveling with the Canadiens. Guillaume, fun time here where we think we got a trade on the go, so we will keep an eye on that. Tell me a little bit about your itinerary here. You got out early, to cover this Western Swing? Oh, we lost him. Okay, we'll see if we can get him back. Maybe we won't be able to get him. We'll work on that. Continue to give us a thumbs up on Nasty Chat, even though it's trade deadline eve. We're going to do our word of the day. We want to get to 155 thumbs up in the next 25 minutes. Are we going, or are we going to cancel it, Brendan? We'll try to get him for a couple minutes. Oh, we got him now. Okay, Guillaume Lefrancois from La Presse. Hey, Guillaume, it was good. It's Reid, by the way. It was good to see you the other day. You got into town early. What's your itinerary here for this Western Swing with the Habs?
I'm actually doing half of it, so I'm doing...
tonight after the game, so I'm there for trade deadline. The Canadiens play the Flames on Saturday, and then I'm flying back home Sunday. And the Canadiens continue on their trip. They're playing Vancouver Tuesday, Seattle Wednesday, and then they're heading back home.
Okay, whenever Montreal comes through town, look, they're an Original Six team. They play in Canada, and obviously they are covered in 2 languages. So, what's a typical media contingent to be on the road with the Montreal Canadiens?
So, around this week, because of trade deadline and because it's a longer trip, there's more of us. So I'd say there's between 8 and 10 reporters. I'd say in general it's more like 4 or 5. But yes, I mean when the team goes for longer trips, when they have practices on the road, that's when you get more media following them. And this being the trade deadline also, the though with the trade deadline and the way they're handling it is that Kent Hughes and or Jeff Gordon, we don't know who's going to speak yet, but they're going to be speaking from the practice facility in Montreal, not here on the road. So basically some media had to stay behind to cover that, and others are here with the team. So Friday, what you need to know is Friday, the whole Montreal brass will be back home in Montreal.
So, look, we're keeping an eye on a potential Jake Wallman to the Edmonton Oilers trade. The Canadiens have some players who have been rumored to be involved in deals or maybe being dangled, but also they have won 5 in a row and are in a playoff spot. What do Canadiens fans want? Do they want to get back into the playoffs, or are they saying, no, let's cool it, let's not trade away pieces for a year where the Cups would be hard to win anyway?
Yeah, no, I would think that there's a hunger for playoffs after 3 straight years with no playoffs, and the last 2 times they made it were during the pandemic when. So in 2021, it was a time when there was just like 3,000 people allowed at the Bell Center. The year before that was the bubble in Toronto. So there hasn't been like actual playoff hockey in a full building since 2017. That's 8 years. That's a while ago. So I think people are hungry for that. But I would also think, judging by talking to people, like everybody is realistic here. Nobody expected the Canadiens to make the playoffs. And so if they do, nobody expects them, to last very long. I mean, that's not where they're at. Their core is not entirely mature yet. So, I mean, like, I the feeling I get is people would see any type of playoff as a bonus. And so it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for the Canadiens to become buyers on the market. But also, saying that, I mean, the most logical thing for them to do would probably just keep their guys, keep everyone around. I mean, the guys you're talking about that were likely to be traded were Jake Evans. That got out of the way 2 days ago when he signed a 4-year extension.
Okay.
Then you got Armia, who's in contract.
You know what? We're losing him, Guillaume. I'm really sorry. We're barely getting you here, so I think might have to catch up with you at the rink tonight. I'm sorry to do that, but I don't. That call wasn't coming through very well. Sorry about that, Guillaume. But yeah, sorry about that, Brendan.
The connection on our end is
all right. So here's what we can tell you. Pinata from the 4th period reporting that possibly a first-round pick going to San Jose for Walman. The Oilers' next first-round pick is in 2026.
Who's reported that?
I think Pinata said that a few minutes ago. Did you not see that? I think that was a real. You got to watch for fake stuff anyway. There could be a pick involved. So this coming summer, the Oilers only have a 3rd rounder, a 6th rounder, and a 7th rounder. In 2026, they have a pick in every round except the 4th. So they do have a first rounder in 2026. Okay. So Walman again has a year left on his contract. He makes $3.4 million per season. Good reports from him on someone who covers the San Jose Sharks. 32 points in 50 games. Pretty good for a D-man. And he's -1 on a team that doesn't win a lot. Now, I'm just seeing a little bit of chatter coming in on the nasty chat. And continue giving us the thumbs up as well. We're almost in double word of the day territory. Seems like fans would like this, again, depending on what's going the other way.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah, the full return has yet to be reported, but there was one post that said that this was shocking.
Yeah, but we don't know.
I mean,
who knows? But one person's idea of shocking might not be somebody else's version of shocking.
So, Reid, this is an offensive defenseman.
Yes.
Is that addressing the needs of the Oilers fully, or as best you could?
Well, I mean, it appears that he's a decent defender, though, and that he can move the puck up the ice. So, yeah, I mean, I've been saying, you need a right shot shutdown guy, which is probably ideal. But if he can move the puck and defend, what is he listed at? 6'1", around 218. So, not tall, but certainly some thickness.
I mean, you look at that, 32 points in 50 games this season at -1 on the worst team in the NHL.
Right.
That says a lot.
Yeah. No, okay, big picture, what if he comes in and he's really good? Does it make Bouchard expendable in the summer?
Well, one has to think, Reid, what do they have an abundance of right now as a puck-moving offensive defenseman? If this trade comes together, this very well could be detrimental to Evan Bouchard.
But again, the short term is play better down the stretch and then do some damage in the playoffs.
I mean, his career year was with Detroit in 22-23. 40, he's on. This is his best year he's had. Sorry, Reid. In 50 games, he's put up more points than he had in 63 games with Detroit last year.
Yeah. Well, and again, I would think he's better than Klingberg. He's not better than Klingberg in his prime, but Klingberg ate in his prime, right?
Correct.
So if your defense is Ekholm, Bouchard, assuming Ek's going to recover, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Walman, Kulak, Emberson, that's be the best six they've had all year.
Well, assuming somebody's not going the other way out of those names.
Assuming one of those guys isn't getting traded.
Now, if this is a draft pick trade, I mean, you're the cupboards were bare to begin with.
Well, that's the problem is you keep spending first round picks.
And
eventually there's got to be a cup so people aren't worried about the cupboards being bare. But I do think even if he's not like a hardcore defensive player, that he still makes the decor better.
But I mean, if you're looking at this, what the Oilers, what Stan Bowman has been saying is that these deals are going to be money in, money out. So here's money coming in.
So there's got to be something else.
Something's got to be going back,
or in another trade. Okay, so here's what I'm wondering aloud. Did the Oilers announce two trades at once? One with San Jose and one with another team that sees money going out?
Huh. Interesting.
Because that's often what happens. There's a deal in agreement with one team, but in this case, the GM of the Oilers says, okay, we're going to do this. You just got to let me finish this one so I'm cap compliant. Or I still have space to do the next move possibly later tonight or tomorrow. I mean, this is a player who would jump in and play for Edmonton. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Immediately.
This isn't what I've been saying about Max Jones. You're taking a little bit of a risk on Max Jones because he's been in the AHL most of the season. This is a legitimate NHL player. And as somebody said, there's a lot of coming in the nasty chat now. By the way, click the thumbs up on if you're on YouTube as well. We got to get over 155 right away. Even if he's not a true defensive defenseman, if he can get the puck out of your end and get it going the other way, that helps too.
Yeah, this is the big question. What's going the other way? And it almost makes you think there might be a third team in play, or like you suggested.
Yeah, because I believe the Sharks have used up all their retention spots. I believe they're retaining on Burns, Carlson, and Hertl. So, right, could Walman be maybe going through another team that is laundering money before he gets to the Oilers?
So Jake Walman has a 3-year, $10.2 million contract, 3.4 per season through the 2025-26 season. So this
you're
is not
getting
a
him
UFA.
for another year, right? You're getting him for another year, so
yes.
that makes him more valuable.
Absolutely, this is not a rental player.
Right. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. If you want to text us, River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Walman can play the right side, but he is better on the left, is what I'm getting. So maybe you're asking Kulak to move over. So would you go Nurse, Kulak, and Walman, Emberson? Nurse, well, I mean, I guess we can figure. Kulak, I think, would be the left shot D that would go over to the right. And then it's just a matter if you're playing with, then he's playing with either Nurse or playing with Walman. Assuming that Ek and Bush stay together, which they almost always have. All right, we'll keep an eye on it. No, again, nothing official. And our Tom Gazzola reporting, and he'll have more after 6 o'clock on the pregame show. Oilers looking at potentially adding another forward. All right. Fun times, eh?
Hey.
This is great. Jake Wallman, likely going to be an Edmonton Oiler. Defenseman from the San Jose Sharks. We're back in a couple of minutes.
The Oilers look to bounce back as they welcome the Canadiens to Rogers Place. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST at 6 p.m. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will get you set with everything you need to know before puck drop. 6 other games on the ice featuring Columbus down in Florida. Nashville hosts Seattle. Utah heads to the Motor City, face the Wings, and Winnipeg takes the road to Philly. With trade deadline less than 24 hours away, management is getting busy. Carson Soucy is a New York Ranger. Riley Smith is heading back to Vegas. Nico Sturm has been sent to Florida. Brian Dumoulin is taking his talents to New Jersey. And the Jets swap depth goalies with the Panthers. 6 games in the association featuring Golden State as they take a trip to Brooklyn to tip off against the Nets. Boston hosts Philly, and the Rockets head to NOLA, where the Pelicans are waiting them. Reid and Jay wrap up the show after the break. My name is Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
All right, so just keeping an eye on things here. It sounds like the Edmonton Oilers will acquire defenseman Jake Wallman from the San Jose Sharks. The rumored return is the first-round pick in 2026. But, again, nothing official. Dave Pagnotta from the Fourth Period reported this, and we'll keep an eye on it. As I often say at this time of year, nothing official, but there's enough out there from trusted people that I'm comfortable talking about it as something that it appears is going to happen. So Jake Wallman, A year left on his contract after this year. Was a $3.4 million cap hit. Pretty good season on a bad San Jose club. 6 goals, 32 points in 50 games. He's only -1 on a team that hardly ever wins. He's listed as 6'1", about 218 pounds, 29-year-old left shot defenseman. Actually, he just turned 29 on the 20th of February. Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. Time for a wing throwdown at the Canadian Brewhouse. Fuego Verde versus Honey Blaze. Who's taking the crown? Hit up the Canadian Brewhouse for wing night. Our house is your house. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I know we'll see if there's a third team involved. We'll see if this gets announced in combination with another trade. That's also possible. Or we'll see if maybe the Oilers are giving up something else on top of the first. We don't know that for sure. But I do think Walman would help the Oilers.
Absolutely.
I think he's obviously a top 4 defenseman on Edmonton.
But this is not addressing the at least perceived thoughts, the needs that this team has, which is a defensive defenseman.
Right, but I don't think he's a liability defensively.
That's the saving grace here. Now, the most notable you'd have to compare this to Evan Bouchard. So you're saying that the Walman is an upgrade defensively for Evan Bouchard, where he might not be as able to contribute offensively.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about? So let's just speculate that this is a first overall pick in the 2026 draft.
First round pick. Yeah,
or first round pick.
Well, it probably would have to be if other teams are interested in this player as well. The Sharks are going to get the most that they can. I'm just looking at his. Well, he has 7 power play points, so he has a little bit. I mean, he probably would not be the Oilers' main power play guy, though apparently he can play the power play. Moves the puck well. So you're right. I've said they don't. I'm not worried about a guy who can move the puck. I've said get a shutdown D. Having said that, if you can move the puck and get it to some of the Oilers' offensive players, that's not a bad thing either. So, yeah, you might go Ekholm Bouchard.
Is there any way that Walman can be elevated to your top pairing? Or is it too early to say?
No, I think it's too early to say. I think he'd be in the top 4. Well, but having said that, I mean, Kulak's played pretty well on the left side, and Nurse has actually had a pretty good season as well. The left, but I think Kulak then plays the right side. So I think on the right side, you'd have Bouchard, Kulak, and Emberson, and on the left side, you'd have Ekholm, Nurse, and Walman. Okay? So, but maybe this is a situation where, you know, you can use Bouchard less and less. Not that he gets used a lot. You use him less and less in defensive situations, right? You have another option there. And maybe if Bouch isn't productive on the power play, maybe this is another option. I mean, he does play on the power play.
Okay, is there any part of you that thinks that Bouchard or Ekholm is involved in this trade?
No.
You think this is just a pick?
Probably.
But then something else
happens.
Has to fall.
There's a third team involved to help with the money, or the Oilers are going to announce like 2 trades at the same time and somebody else goes out. That's what it feels like to me. So maybe it does. Who knows? Maybe it doesn't even get announced tonight. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if the Oilers really want to get better and still go for it this year, then you need to keep your existing players and add this guy.
Wow.
But Pagnotta is reporting that Walman has already been told he's going to Edmonton.
Elliot Friedman also reported that this is happening.
He's got it that far along as well.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I mean, I think this is the type of player that should help the Oilers. Not a star player, but a very good player. There's nothing wrong with acquiring a very good player to help out your team. Yeah, I'm not like he's probably a better all-round defenseman than Bouchard. If Bouchard's really clicking offensively, he's not as good as Bouchard offensively. But, Bouchard he didn't get a power play goal till he scored into an empty net 5 days ago. So I don't look at it as, this guy kicks Bouchard off the team. I look at it as he makes the Oilers defense core as a whole more well-rounded. And then maybe in the summer, if you have to make a tough decision with Bouchard and Walman's played well, okay, maybe then. But right now, I personally don't look at it that way. Fair?
Yeah.
You can tell me if I'm being goo-goo gaga crazy.
No, I don't think you're being goo-goo gaga crazy. Looking online, the general sentiment out of San Jose is frustration on this move. Now, they don't know what's coming in return, but this was a highly regarded player in that organization, just from what I'm seeing online. And you have a source that has backed that up.
Yeah, well, he's their fifth leading scorer? He's their top scoring defenseman. So he has 32 points. Bush has 47. And to be fair, Bush is plus 13 if you look at
Bush has played 61.
But he's incredibly frustrating.
Walden's played
times.
50.
Yeah. How many points what does Ekholm have for points? 27. What's Kulak up to now? 21. Yeah, so this he's a good all-around defenseman.
Wonder if Walman's regretting doing the gritty when he played for Detroit.
Maybe.
That seems to be...
It seems to be being brought up quite a bit.
The thing. Seems like he likes the TikTok. So a little bit of a character.
Chris in the nasty chat, I would suggest the Oilers are not done trading. And then Tom Gazzola reporting that the Oilers are looking at potentially adding another forward.
Well, unless somebody's going the other way here, technically they can't be done.
Yeah, something else is going to happen. And again, I don't think... I think Frederick's an intriguing pickup, but we're not going to see him for probably 3 weeks. I totally don't know what to expect from Max Jones. He's going to play tonight. He'll make his Oilers debut. What is he wearing again? 40. What number is it?
46.
46.
Cam Dineen, 85.
Yeah, but no, I think the Oilers would still like to beef up the bottom six somehow, or maybe even the second line if they can. It's going to cost you a little bit more. So, no, I do not think that the Oilers are done. I would still think there's one more move coming tonight or tomorrow. And we don't even know if this will be formally announced tonight or not. So, Jake Walman on his way to the Edmonton Oilers from the San Jose Sharks, possibly for a first-round draft pick. But we will find out as we move along. It's great we have programming continuing at 6 o'clock with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas and the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. All right, you guys did it. We got over 165 thumbs up on YouTube. So we will do our words of the day.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
All right, here's how it works. If you're new to the show, Jay gives me a word. I have to spell it and figure out the definition.
Okay, the first word of the day. Libretto. Libretto.
Libretto. It is a type of opera.
Ooh, I don't know about this. I'm gonna split this one with you. It is the words of an opera or other musical compositions.
Oh, it's the words of an opera. Okay. Jimbo says the word of the day intro needs to go. Only annoying thing on EST. LOL. Oh, just you wait and see, Jimbo.
Well,
he's
trust me, we can get way more.
He's
annoying.
daring me to be annoying.
Okay, the second word of the day is behoove.
Behoove. If it behooves you to do something, it's sort of like being strongly compelled or that you must do something. Like if if I broke my ankle and I'm going to resume my hockey career, it would behoove me to wear strong ankle protection.
That's 4 for 4, Reid.
Well, sort of.
What a day.
About 3.5 for 4. The opera thing I didn't get exact enough, but I knew what behoove means. I think occasionally I will use that word in conversation. Libretto I knew had to do with an opera, but I didn't nail it down. And neither of those I found difficult to spell.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you need a break.
I really do. That was a fun final hour. All right, so again, Oilers and Canadiens at 7. In about 6 minutes, the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show will start with Tom and Hernan, and then they're on after the game as well.
Who was the mystery athlete?
Oh, geez, it was Johnny Busick. It was Johnny Busick, and Abutsky got it with Edmonton, the first clue. The other clues were going to be 16. That's how many 20-goal seasons he had. He started his career with the Red Wings. He played for the old Edmonton Oil Kings, and he was mostly a Boston Bruin. So the clues were Edmonton 16, Red Wings, Oil Kings, and Bruins. And if nobody had it, I would have thrown in Ukrainian as another one. And Jake Wallman, defenseman, traded, not announced yet, but looks like traded from San Jose to Edmonton. The return not yet confirmed. We'll see if anything breaks. Tom and Hernan
TBD,
will keep you updated. Great show, everybody. Thanks for listening. On behalf of Brendan Eric and Jason Milne, I'm Reid. Have a good night.